forces. Hello everybody, welcome in. It's Monday. Oh my god, what's going on? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Your boy is feeling good today. Yes, that's fucking right. How are we all doing? What's going on? Whoa! Already, Laser Telestra with a sub, a 7-month sub. How are you doing? Welcome in, everybody. We got some gorgeous, beautiful people in the chat. We got Cynthia Citrus. We got Hell to Pay. We got Survided. We've got Cryptid is over Crypto. We got Chaos Merlin. We'll, of course, have Laser Terrestre. And we got Wintry Mute, a.k.a. Joe. How you doing, everybody? How was your weekend? What did you get up to? I hope you enjoyed Red Planet last night. If you were there for Red Planet, it was pretty good. We went through all the episodes that we've previously done, which was nice. Cynthia says, had my first arts therapy session today. It was very calming. You know, I'm just very calm in general at the minute. It's really weird. It's so weird. I feel like I've come out of a period of like intense stress and all of a sudden I'm very, very calm. I think it's because I had COVID and I was like unsure if I was going to be able to pay my bills and stuff. Like that is really stressful, you know? Because obviously I don't get sick pay. If I'm sick for 2 months, you know, I don't get fucking... I don't get sick pay from everybody in the chat. They don't all go, oh yeah, we gotta do sick pay for Muel. Some people did. That was really nice. That was really, really nice. But, you know, I can't expect people to pay for content that isn't there, you know? But last month, even though we didn't hit the goal, because I had another week off at the end, still feels very, very good. You know, you lot raised a lot of money for me last month still, and that like made me feel a lot better, and like I'm feeling a lot more secure financially now, and so I'm just able to like do things for myself. Like I've started back at the gym. You can see I'm fucking drinking my fucking protein shake already. Big leg day yesterday. I've done back day, chest day, leg day, and every single one of them sucked. Like, it sucked. Like, it's only been eight weeks, you know, since I've not been. But yeah, whatever. But this weekend has been really good. My partner went down to their parents. That's not why it was good. Obviously, I miss her. But it did mean that I had like a lot of time to myself where I just kind of played Kenshi and did a lot of reproductive labor. I'm starting calling it Jojo Nora.
Leg day.
That's right, leg day yesterday. Never skip it. Don't skip it. It's so important. We use our legs all the time. Thank you so much for the 2 months Prime sub, Jojo Nora. Everybody go follow Jojo Nora, everybody. She is a phenomenal chicken and deserves all your love. What else was I saying? So I got like, I've been doing a lot of reproductive labor. I'm not calling it chores anymore. I'm calling it reproductive labor, so I remember what it is. Yeah, I've like cleaned the house. I've done the dusting. Today I mopped the floors for the first time in ages, and I had to use 3 buckets for 1 room because every a third of the room went past, and like the water was just black, like you couldn't see through it. It was so gross. So I've done that today, and it feels really good. And my life has just become very quiet. It's very, 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 very quiet. You know. You got me playing Kenshi, and I can't tell if I really like it or just like it. So, with Kenshi, it's weird because when you first start it, you'll get so mad at it. Like, I got really mad at Kenshi when I first started it, and I just, like, stopped playing it for months. And then I came back to it when I got COVID, and it was perfect when I had COVID because I could, like, learn about how everything works and understand, you know, why it is like that, you know, why the game is like that. And then I got like a bunch of mods for it and stuff, and that made it a lot more interesting, and that was kind of fun. You know, so yeah, Kenshi is like that. Kenshi is like that, but I'll tell you right now, when it gets to late game and you've got like a big buff squad of like big buff sexy Shek ladies with massive swords and like a bunch of sneaky little crossbow guys, you know, covering you from the flanks, you could just like destroy a whole fascist nation, and it's fun as fuck. And you can also get a mod which maxes out the amount of characters you can have in a squad, so you can just have like a literal army. Like I've got a literal fucking army at the minute. I've got like 50 solid lads, like 50 solid peeps, right? And 50 crossbow people, and they're just really, really good at shooting. You know, and it just becomes like so fun when you get into the late game. Early game sucks because it makes you think that you need to go out and start your own outpost really quick, because it teaches you about the building thing and stuff like that. But in my opinion, that's a bit of a mistake. You should like chill in a settlement and do a bunch of trading and buy a building in a settlement. Like just buy a little shed first and build some stuff in that, and then buy like a bigger house after that, and then build some stuff in that. And then when you've got like a bunch of resources together, get some pack animals, take them out to somewhere like pretty nice, and set up there, and then just be ready, because you're just gonna get raided by bandits every single fucking day. Like literally every 20 minutes you'll be raided by bandits, and then there'll be another kind of bandit raiding you, and they'll be stronger, and they'll just absolutely cumster and dumpster you every time. So yeah, you got to be ready for when you start your base. Anyway, where was I? The house is looking great. I showed you all the pride flowers that my mum got me from her garden last week, and that was really, really nice. And I'm just feeling really, really good. I've had a really, really nice weekend. I've been walking around in the sun. I've been out in the garden. We've got like a communal garden in the block of flats here. If you saw me on Red Planet last night, you'll know that like what was it? I started a WhatsApp group for my block, and that felt really, really nice. The raids are brutal before you're ready. They are extremely brutal, yeah. How does the game start you out? As a settlement or people? You can have either like 4 or 5 people together, or you can have like just one guy. You could start like as one guy with an arm missing and everything, or you can start with like as like a man and a dog and shit like that. Like there's a load of different starting scenarios. It's kind of like RimWorld. But you don't start as a settlement. You start off and you can like go in certain towns. An army of starving lads just come in and steal all your bread. Yeah, that's literally what happens, and it sucks. It's so hard. It's so hard. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with Kenshi this weekend. Like I was getting mad at it because I was playing it every day, was addicted to it. But now that I know I've got like certain times in the week where I'm like gonna allocate myself to like just have a day playing video games and like not doing any work, it feels a lot better. It just feels like a lot better to do that. So yeah, I'm having a good time. I had a great weekend. What else was I gonna say? Holy shit. There's loads of stuff. Oh yeah, and like if you saw in the Discord, I had a bit of a vent in the Discord last night about like someone who was like pretty horrible to me a couple of years ago, just like very emotionally unavailable, and kind of like led me on a little bit, and that just kind of like sucked. So it felt a bit shit. Thank you for the follows, by the way. And she randomly came back into my life this week. For some reason, she just decided to message me, and it made me feel like shit because I never got to tell her how much she made me feel like shit. And I made a lot of excuses for her. But it felt really, really good to just tell her to fuck off. To just tell her to fuck the fuck off and get out of my life. Like, I don't have fucking time for you. You know what I mean? Like one of these people who has like a really shit support network because they're absolutely awful at communicating. And it's like, sorry, it's been 2 years. And I have a bunch of people now who care about me, and I care about them. Like, they make me feel like I deserve their time, and I think that they deserve my time, you know, and it's all good. I'm sorry, but like, I don't have space in my life for you right now. And, you know, if you want to be mates again, that's fine, but like, you can't just like jump back into my life and pick me up and try and like pick up where we left off. That's not how it works. Where we left off actually sucked. You know, I'm terrible at communicating. Well, listen, there are different levels to that, right? If you go back, if you want someone back in your life, yeah, and they say to you, listen, you really fucking hurt me. I don't really want to like continue speaking to you unless you tell me what it is that you want. Like, why have you got back in touch with me again? And if you can't tell them why that is, that's on you. Sorry. I'm sorry to be like a bit brutal and stuff, but that's what happened, you know? And I blocked her because why should I deal with someone who can't tell me why they're back in my life? Like, I want to know why you're back in my life. Why are you back in my life? Why are you talking to me? Why are you pretending nothing happened? If you can't tell me that, if you can't answer that simple question, sorry, don't care. You know. But there's a difference between that and, you know, actually being able to communicate and having, like, a friend circle and stuff like that. Like, there's ways that you can, I guess, communicate or be bad at communicating that aren't as harmful as other ways. Like, you could be bad at communicating, yeah, but are you also very evasive? And are you also very vague? And do you find it hard to communicate your feelings? Because if that's the case, you can't expect someone to respond to you. You can't expect someone to have time for you. And it's at the stage where you gotta like look for fucking help, innit? You know what I mean? I guess what I'd say is that like if you have like a bad support network, like if you don't really have like many friends and stuff, that might be like an indicator of that. But anyway, me and you chatting DMs, Jojo, so you know what I mean? Like, whatever you want. Like, give me a shout and we'll figure it out. We'll have a chat about it. Keep meat legal in the chat says, what to do about survivors' guilt in capitalism? I make a lot of money after wage slaving and starting my own company. I feel I need to use my money for good reasons, but don't know also how much to keep for emergencies. Feeling guilty in this system. Chill out, stick around here, and you'll find out a bunch of ways. Like, at the end of the day, if you're exploiting other people for their labor, maybe don't do that. Like, that's the first big thing that you can do. If you're just self-employed and you just work for yourself, stop feeling bad about it. Depends what kind of company you run, innit? I'm bad at communicating too, but I do a lot of self-reflection. Sure. But also, like, you're very, like, this isn't, like, I understand that everybody in the chat is ultimately already now going, like, oh my god, it's me, I'm bad at communicating, I can't do things, blah, blah, blah. Stop. Like, you know, Cynthia, for example, you're extremely active in my Discord, you, like, vent in the Discord all the time. That's not the type of communicating that I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Like, you're actually good at communicating, in my opinion, because you were able to, like, talk about things in the vent and support channel. Like, that's a sign of a good communicator. You're like, these are my feelings, I don't like them, and they're out there now. You know what I mean? Has anyone got any advice? Can anyone help? Like, that's good communication. Like, we're all learning stuff as we go, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? Like, I could say that I'm bad at communicating some stuff. Hey, Super Sweet Boy, how you doing? What's going on? Gang, please go show some love to Super Sweet Boy. He's a lovely Super Sweet Boy. Hey, Plink, what's going on? It's more to do with the context. Are they here for you or to use you? Are they back in your life to be a friend? We all have issues with communication. That's exactly what I'm talking about, yeah. I am fighting Amogus brain rot with this conversation. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? Hey, Queen Laura, how are you doing? Sorry, I just almost missed you there. Like, you know, I could say, you know, Cynthia, I think you're good at communicating because of what I said, right? But then it's like, oh, every time you hear vent, right, okay. But then it's like, you know, maybe Cynthia is bad at communicating with, like, someone specific in her life. Maybe they have an issue with, like, communicating with, you know, people at work or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, my definition of communication is going to be different, etc., etc. Oh my god, chat, it's almost like there's nuance. It's almost like there's nuance to this discussion. Started my new job a week ago today. This time last week I was overwhelmed and exhausted with adapting to the new environment, but getting a lot more confident in the role. Nice! I'm happy to hear that, man. Like, it's, you know, it's always a bit worrying when you start a new job and you feel like you can't do it and stuff. So I'm glad you're settling in. Hey, multitude of drops, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm like having like a... Yeah, I'm trying to soak it in because I'm having such a good time at the moment. I'm like really trying to like... It sounds so bad, but it's like, oh my god! What's gonna happen in a couple of months? Like, is something really stressful gonna happen? So I'm really trying to make the most of how good I feel right now, you know? Hey, Goblin Hugger, how are you? I'm bad at staying in touch, but not bad at communicating. Ah, you see, that's my thing. Yeah, that's my thing, and that's an ADHD thing, right? Because it's like, if something is not directly in front of us, we forget it exists. No object permanence and shit, right? And also, rejection-sensitive dysphoria can also play into that. It's literally like, if you have not spoken to a certain friend, like I've not spoken to a certain friend that I've been trying to go on like a walk in the hills with, because I know that that's going to be like very good for my mental health, right? And it's also going to be good for his mental health, and I want to go on a walk with him, right? But because I've not spoken to him for so long, I literally thought that today. I was like, oh my god, like I'm feeling good about myself today. I should speak to my friend and get him to come out and let's hang out. Let's go do stuff. Let's go do this walk that we were talking about. But then I immediately started getting rejection-sensitive dysphoria and thinking like, oh my god, what if he hates me now? Because I've not spoke to him in a couple of months. But this is a guy that I've not spoke to for like a year before, and he's been fine. So it's all just in my head, you know? Managed to make a nice rice bowl for dinner after my chronic illness kicking my ass all day. Glad to hear you're all having a good day. Oh, that sounds fucking nice, Chaos. Yeah. What kind of stuff did you have in your rice bowl? Very bad at communicating with my family, but that's due to a toxic parent-child relationship. I think you're right, yeah. Hey, Adrenaline, how are you doing today? Hope you had a good weekend. Yeah, self-care and setting boundaries. This is what you gotta do. This is what we do here. We talk about this stuff. It's healthy. It's good, right? You do that so much? Yep. Yep. It's a thing. It's an ADHD thing. But again, remember, a lot of the ADHD symptoms are also comorbid with autism, so that too. I just forget to talk to people and then have a panic attack about it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's it. What you just said, that's literally what I'm talking about. One lovely thing that I realized after my first proper diagnosis of mental health, which was that I have... Oh, no, sorry. My second diagnosis of mental health. My first diagnosis is that I had depression, right? And then none of the stuff that was supposed to help with depression helped. So I went to another psychiatrist, I don't know the difference. And then he diagnosed me with extremely high anxiety, right? And OCD. And ever since then, I've been trying to like dissect where my anxiety comes from and where my panic attacks come from and used to come from. I'm very lucky. I don't have panic attacks anymore because I've done a lot of work on getting rid, understanding where the triggers are and understanding where the you know, what's going to make me feel like that, and like the warning signs and the symptoms and stuff. So then I realized a lot of my anxiety comes from these ADHD related symptoms, like rejection sensitive dysphoria, like catastrophizing, and my OCD also came from ADHD as well. Go figure. No idea how that works, but it's something that I've learned since speaking to a lot more neurodivergent people, a lot more mentally ill people, and this is the benefit of having chats amongst ourselves about this stuff, you know? I always think people are going to reject me for no reason. Yep. It's something we struggle with all the time because we know, like you said, like you said you're bad at communicating. What I'm probably getting now is that you might be bad at communicating in the same way that me and Queen Laura and some other people in the chat have said about how like we forget sometimes to talk to people, and that leads us to think we're going to get rejected, and then that also manifests in other rejection what would you call it? Idealism? I don't know. Rejection thought patterns or something? I don't know. Never heard that term before. There you go. Now you know. Teriyaki tuna mayo, pickled ginger with kimchi and miso soup on the side. That sounds fucking delightful. Enjoy it. Enjoy every second. I get a lot of anxiety reaching out to someone after not talking to him for so long. Oh, yeah. Yeah, same. Had depression and anxiety diagnoses before your ADHD diagnosis. Yep. Hey, Johnny, how are you doing? Job hunting with the rejection sensitivity is extra fun. Yep, I remember that. Also, go follow Johnny, everyone. He's fucking great. Cynthia says a lot of my anxiety panic attacks come from my BPD and PTSD, or at least I thought. The more I talk to people with ADHD, and the more I think there might be another connection there. Well, this is where it gets, I don't want to say interesting, but like complicated, because there's going to be stuff from BPD and PTSD that is like, you know, it's connected. And if you've got PTSD, that's going to affect your ADHD in a way. And if you've got BPD, that'll affect your PTSD, etc., etc., so on and so forth. Speaking to or reading posts from other neurodivergent people online has been far more useful for me than any other support I got in school. Yep, same here. Once I conquer my panic attacks, shower regularly, get my antidepressants, lose the weight, fix my sleep schedule, it's all over for you goobers. Right, and this is the thing that I do all the time, Laura, right? This is a thing that I do all the time. So like, people with ADHD will probably relate to this. So like something like big bad happens, right? A big bad happens, okay? Like, for example, recently it was me getting COVID. That was a big bad. And it was a big bad for a couple of reasons, because it made me very sick. I got very worried. I started to catastrophize about my health, about my gym. You know, fitness and doing the gym is very important to me. And then I start to think about like, okay, I gotta do all this stuff to make my life right. I gotta do all this stuff to be happy. I gotta do all this stuff to make sure I'm like on the level, and then everything will be fine, right? But the thing is that what we do when we do that, when we make this big list in our head of all the things that we need to do. Oh, what's that, gang? That's a list of tasks that you're talking about. Oh yeah, you know, those things that people with ADHD fucking despise. So my advice to anyone who is feeling overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that you have to do, or that you think you have to do in order to be happy, is stop worrying about it. And I know it's easier than said. It's easier said than done. But Sophie was talking about this on Red Planet last night with that book. It's not about forcing yourself to have a strict schedule, because this can be really hard to adhere to with ADHD, right? It really can, but for multiple reasons, right? It's just about finding the right rhythm. Like me, I was literally just like playing Kenshi every day, being a proper goblin person, only doing like the bare minimum for like a long time, and I'd pushed all the feelings of... And you know what? It was actually COVID that helped me do this, but it pushed all the feelings of like, you're a waste man, you're not doing anything with your life, like fucking hell, like what are you doing? You're not doing anything with your stream, you're not making videos. I pushed all that out, you know, like, oh, you're not going to the gym, like you're not going outside, like pushed all of it out of my head. And I just ended up, because of that, getting into a rhythm. And going, oh my god, like one day, literally last week, I was just like, I'm done with Kenshi. And I got up and I started cleaning the house. You know, I started cleaning the house. And now I'm fucking happy as fuck because I've cleaned the house. I've done a bunch of stuff because as soon as I clean the house, that gives me boom, boom, serotonin, right? Fucking serotonin. And when you've got serotonin, it's like, oh, I'm doing good things. Okay, I gotta keep doing good things, and I can do good stuff, and I actually can do stuff. I can do this. And then it just becomes like a positive circle jerk in your head, and it's really good. Cylon Uprising, hello. Magos Informaticus. I'm currently in that situation, dealing with mostly depression symptoms and trying to get someone to check me for ADHD. Yep, absolutely. Get it done. You're also a member of the It Was ADHD All Along Club, Cylon Uprising? Yep. Hey, some dude called Dave. How you doing? One good friend who knows what I'm like could go years without talking. We meet up and it's like nothing. I'm blessed to have him. Other people take offense. Yeah, I think as well it's like... So if we're talking about communication, I think it's important to be like, all right, if you know that this is a thing that you do, just make sure that the people that you're doing this to or you've done this to, I don't want to say doing this to or done this to because it's not really like you're doing anything. The people in these situations that you struggle to remember to talk to, right? Just when you do remember to talk to them, just say, listen, I'm so sorry. This is because of ADHD, or like, this is because of who I am as a person. I hope you don't take offense. I hope you're not upset. If they really are a friend, then they will understand. And if they're not, then fuck them. You didn't need them. Right? Hey, Beanie Gaby, how you doing? The depression was a result of internalizing a lot of the negative messages an ADHD person gets. That does happen too. Anxiety was a coping mechanism to get work done. Yep. Oh, this is relatable. It's relatable. That's how it's autism for me because lists are very helpful for you. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know enough about autism at all to give you advice regarding that. But if it was ADHD, that's the advice I would give. Sorry if that is completely irrelevant to you, Queen Laura. Rhythms thinking instead of tasks thinking has changed my life. That's literally it, Goblin. Yeah, and I'm glad to be in it. To-do lists gets groans as a solution for helping, but they've helped me through. It's whatever works for you, innit? You know. And just like revise how much it actually does help you from time to time. Because sometimes you might think that something's helping, but you're still struggling and you're still anxious. And you won't know where that's coming from. You know. In a specific stressful situation, my therapist advised not imagining every single thing that could go wrong. Seemed obvious, but it actually helped surprise me. Yes, that's called catastrophizing. And we do this a lot. Because it's actually when you think when you get explained when you get told the biological reasoning for us having these emotions, it actually becomes a lot easier to break down and understand. So like, we're animals, right? We're very advanced apes. And so what anxiety is basically our brain telling us, oh my god, we're in trouble, right? And we don't really know what the trouble is, but we've had like an inkling that something is wrong. Now, because we're not far actually down the evolutionary timeline from when we were just like apes in the jungle compared to like other animals that have taken like billions of years to evolve and stuff like that, right? We still think that we're in the jungle and that it's a snake or something, right? And so we're not quite sure what it is, but we know it's danger. We know it's danger. And we're like, oh my god. And because of like capitalism, and it's like, okay, won't be able to eat, won't be able to go outside, gonna end up homeless, blah, 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 blah. All these things like race around our head. And what happens is you start to get this feeling in your throat, which is like tightening up. And you start to get like a tight chest. You know, your throat gets dry, you get a tight chest. And then you start to feel butterflies in your stomach. And then in very bad scenarios, you get diarrhea. right? And there's a reason for that. What your body's actually doing is it's drawing the blood out of these organs. So if you get stabbed or like bitten or something, you don't lose blood. You don't lose too much blood and stuff like that. It's very interesting. That's why that happens. It doesn't make it any better, but once you realize that that's where it comes from, it's like, oh shit, okay, right. That's why I'm feeling like that. You know, yeah. Wild. Absolutely wild. Went to look for something the other day. It spurred me on to do some cleaning and tidying my room, and I didn't find the thing that I was looking for. I felt good that I did the thing. Yeah, sometimes just doing a Jordan Peterson and cleaning your room, bucko, is pretty good. I set jobs that I prefer to do on certain days that are weekly laundry, food shop, bathrooms, big kitchen clean. If I can't do it for any reason, it can be moved without ruining the routine. It just gives enough structure to balance mental and physical health. Yeah, this is the thing. It's like, if you have the capacity to do that, that's great. But if you don't feel bad about it, because your brain just works a bit different. He has ADHD, that's probably why he gets me. Oh, there you go. That's why your friend understands, yeah. First lockdown was one of the scariest and most relaxing times for your ADHD brain. No work, no recreational learning, playing my best Animal Crossing life. Most regular sleep schedule I've ever had. This is why capitalism's gotta go. It's gotta go. Never thought of it like rhythm motivation rather than task motivation. It's a good way to think about it. You love hearing about other head goblins. It helps me be a better friendo to those with other disorders. Hell yeah. Yeah, fucking caveman brain, monkey brain really fucks us up. Absolutely. Apes of questionable advancements. Trying to explain it to neurotypical people, it's like, huh? Yeah, you just have to be patient and try and explain it if you can. If you can't, then don't stress yourself out trying to do it. Like I said, just leave them. They're not worth your time. So, you know. For me, writing things down means it's out of my head, if that makes sense. My tasks are then split between a list of stuff that's actually important and all the other tasks that live elsewhere. Yeah, you see, for me, that is the same, but then I just forget about the stuff that I've written down, and then I discover the list a couple of weeks later, and I go, oh, I hate myself because I didn't do all this stuff that I wrote down. So that's why lists suck for me. Anxiety shit's the worst. I hate them. Yeah, they also come with sometimes tenesma, which, sorry, TMI, mute for like 5 seconds, gang. The feeling of not having completed a shit. And it feels like you're just going to shit again, like very, very soon. But that is anxiety that does that to you because, you know, it's literally where the phrase, I shat myself comes from. Because that is what happens when you're scared. Like, your body tells you to, like, evacuate your bowels. For whatever reason, I don't know. I don't know why it works like that. Diarrhea is my standard psychosomatic reaction to basically everything. Yep. That was me for a long time. That was me after my last relationship. Oh boy. She really fucked me up. I do my best chores while procrastinating other things, honestly. Oh, Beanie Gaby, same. I was literally supposed to record a new video today, and all I did was, like, do chores. But at the end of the day, I'm not beating myself up about it because I'm like, it's fine. I've done chores now, and that's good. That makes me feel good, so. Yeah, worst feeling in it, yeah. Stress meltdowns are your brain disconnecting the logical processing part and flooding you with adrenaline to escape a bear, which is rarely helpful in a modern context. Yeah, that too, right, that too, yeah. 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 Oh shit, or not, as the case may be. That's right, Joe. I'm the same with lists. Once it's out my head, it doesn't exist anymore. For me, lists are good for, not lists, but like having a journal is good for trauma. Excuse me, nearly fucking chundered. It's good for trauma. It's not actually good for ADHD. Because once I get the bad thoughts out of my head and they're on paper and I can look at them and I can understand them a bit better, then it's like, oh, okay, that works, right? I understand why I'm feeling shit about that. Hey, Gay Hawk, how you doing? What's going on? Hope your new job's going okay. I get really bad bowels when I get stressed because of anxiety. Yeah, I think everybody is. Everybody who's got the anxiety, the anxious poos, is resonating with that. I had no idea that feeling had a name. That's amazing. Oh yeah, that's right. Absolutely. You defo get that one? Yep. Hey, Femboy Frankenstein, how you doing? This was not a thing before I started teaching, but teaching really fucked my body up. Yeah, that fucking... I can imagine that super stress coming from, like, feeling responsible for, like, a bunch of tiny people and shit like that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sound... Yeah, that's gonna fuck you up. I write a dream diary because I have lots of nightmares, so I can show it to my therapist every once in a while. Yeah, I think that's good to do. I think that's good to, like, you know, if you're having these, like, traumatic things happen to you or these traumatic feelings, like, write them down. You know, you can understand them better, or they have less power over you once you write them down. Like, that's what happened last night when I told this person who was a piece of shit to me to fuck off, because I, like, wrote down all the reasons that she made me feel like shit, and I saw them all written down, and I was like, oh, suddenly she's not got power over me anymore, and I don't get this awful sinking feeling in my stomach anymore, you know, when she messages me. So it's great. And now I've blocked her, so she's never gonna message me again. Fucking buzz it. Unfortunately, might see her again because she lives in the same city and lives in a place where, like, a lot of my friends live. But whatever, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I wish I could journal as I'm bad with writing as I am with formulating my thoughts with speaking. Get a dictaphone or, like, do voice notes on your phone. New job is going well. Happy with where I'm at. Nice. Yeah, get a journal. Yeah, journals are good. Journals are good. Journals are good. Don't usually dream, but when I do, it's about losing all my teeth. Yeah, that's weird. I think I remember you saying that, Queen. Yeah. Right, chat. I've got a cool stream for you. I know a lot of you are wondering what's going on with the stream today. What are we doing, John or Muel? Well, we're looking at the news. There's a couple of stuff that I, like, don't think I really need to cover. Like Shinzo Abe being murdered. I think most of you know the score with that. What else is the stuff that I don't need to cover? Boris Johnson, we looked at that last week on Thursday already. I'm thinking about doing a video about Boris Johnson on my channel, like, really quick. But we're just going to take a look at Democracy Now! And, yeah, not Kojima. Yeah, not Kojima. Curious as to how Sri Lanka's going. Well, we touched on that on the Hujima House on the stream at Red Planet last night. Very, very good. Very, very, very good. A joke for y'all. One day all my teeth fell out because of a silly mistake. It was accidental. Super Sweet Boy, you're banned for life. Oh, God. Love a dad joke. So, here's the thing. The Democracy Now! Video for today, the Democracy Now! Top US and world headlines for today, is about 12 minutes long. I'm going to do my best to, like, not pause during the video. Because what we'll do after that is we'll take a look at Positive Leftist News, which we actually missed for this month, which is silly, because it stars our good friend, Sophie From Mars. Cynthia Citrus says, I did a similar thing with an ex last year. She would always call me whenever she'd feel down, and because I'm a nice, easily taken advantage of person, I always tried to help her, until a friend sat me down for some real talk, made me realize that she was just using me as an emotional dumpster, told her to fuck off, and blocked her. Best decision I made in a few years. Yep, that's basically what happened with me yesterday. So yeah, it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. Right, listen, chat, we're going into the politics. We're wading into the politics category. Expect idiots, expect morons in the chat. It's gonna fucking happen. Whatever. It'll be funny if they try and say funny things, because you know what will happen here. I don't debate them. I just tell them that I'm shagging their dad, and we move on, and we have a lovely day. But it'll be funny if you know, sometimes I get excited about it because I'm like, what absolutely absurd thing are they going to come in with today, you know? Hey, Hild Leela, what's going on? Welcome in. All right. Let's check out the news. Try and get through it as quick as we can.
Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Mass protests in Sri Lanka have forced the country's president and prime minister to agree to resign.
Here you go. It's in the news.
As the country faces a dire economic crisis.
So this was really interesting. They stormed the presidential palace yesterday, and there were videos of them, like, you know, having a pillow fight and then, like, jumping in the pool, like hosting a mock IMF meeting. Very, very, very funny. And, you know, this is just something that people who abuse power in the system of capitalism can expect to happen. You know, if that happens.
Saturday, thousands of protesters stormed President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's home and set fire to the prime minister's residence. Protesters have vowed to keep occupying the president's home until he formally resigns.
So they're just going to stay there for a week.
Swimming in the president's pool. Demonstrators condemn the president for living in luxury while Sri Lanka faces an economic crisis.
To get rid of the president and the prime minister and to have a new era for Sri Lanka. Also, I feel very, very sad that they didn't go earlier, because had they gone earlier, there wouldn't have been any destruction. And it's time that we got all our stolen money back to this country. And also, the air conditions are running in that presidential palace while people don't have electricity in their homes.
Literally, that, like, it's just simple, right? That woman might not have even been a communist. Right? But straight away, there she is saying the most base shit ever. Like, the aircon's on in the palace, but apparently no one who's poor is allowed to have it. You know, it's just simple shit, right? Hey, Mark, how you doing? Hey, Smutty Baba Yaga as well. Welcome in.
Leaders in Japan went to the polls for
weird sort of inverted parallel to the US Chud insurrection. Right. Well, this is what we were talking about. This is what Sophie said, actually, on Red Planet last night, is that it was like, you see the US January 6th thing, and the dudes are just kind of like walking around. Like, there was one militant guy who had like a bunch of zip ties and stuff, and there was one woman who had a gun, Ashley Babbitt, and she got killed. You know, they didn't really know what to do, so they were just kind of like taking selfies, and that was it. But then literally, like, you know, in the one in Sri Lanka, it's like, well, we're going to use this building because we actually have, like, you know, shit to do. We actually have shit that we need to solve. Like, we're too hot. And, you know, we want to take a dip in the pool. We want air conditioning and shit like that. You know, it makes sense that people would want to just hang out somewhere like that. Hey, Sorka, how you doing?
Parliamentary election Sunday, 2 days after a gunman assassinated former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe while he was campaigning for a candidate.
Rest in peace.
In Sunday's election, Abe's right-wing Liberal Democratic Party won in a landslide, gaining enough seats with its coalition partners to form a supermajority in the upper house. By picking up more seats, the LDP appears poised to rewrite the country's pacifist constitution, which bars Japan from using or threatening to use military force. The rewriting of the Constitution was a long-time goal of Shinzo Abe, something he never accomplished while alive.
So, if I've got this right, chat, the current frontrunner wants to rewrite the Constitution so that they will never use military force, but Shinzo Abe wanted the opposite. He wanted to really, and he actually did militarize Japan, right? That's not good. Well, it kind of doesn't sound good, because it kind of sounds like then they're just going to let, like, US forces walk all over them. And also rewriting a constitution kind of sounds like a little stressful in general, because you know what human rights are going to suffer and shit like that regarding people's rights in Japan. You know, not a very left-wing country. There's left-wingers in Japan, obviously, but like the government is not a very left-wing government. Shouldn't say country really, because that's a bit racist, but you know what I mean. Like the government is not really left-wing. He couldn't, and the current guy wants to go through with it. Right, okay, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you, yeah. They're saying that the Japanese military will no longer be self-defense only. Oh, that is bad. That is bad. Yeah. Shinzo Abe, like, did a lot of apologia for war crimes that the Japanese committed in World War II. Also the comfort women, which is, like, the rape of Korean, Chinese, and... I can't remember which other country, but like whichever country like Japan was fucking with in World War II, they raped a lot of women and they just like named them like comfort women. It was really fucked up shit. Yeah, so he did a lot of apologia for that.
Ukrainian officials say at least 18 people have died after Russian rockets hit a five-story apartment complex in the town of Chasiv Yar in the eastern Ukraine region of Donetsk. Rescuers say they fear 24 people may be trapped in the rubble. Meanwhile,
notice how even the mainstream media is shut up about Ukraine now as well. Like, and you can directly correlate that to like the pyramid of hierarchy of white supremacy, because it's literally like you know, all right, we're gonna give more airtime to a white country that's having to go through a war, right? It had a lot of airtime, but actually it doesn't matter that much because they're Slavs, you know. Like, that's what's going on here. It's pretty obvious. It's like, oh, they're Eastern Europeans. They're Slavs. You know, they're further down on the white supremacist hierarchy than people in Central Europe, Western Europe, and the USA. So it doesn't matter anymore. Who cares, right? That's literally what's going on. And they got bored. They got bored. Yeah.
Ukraine's also accusing Russia of bombing a school and children's health center in Kharkiv. A meeting of foreign ministers of the G20 ended in Indonesia on Friday without any new agreements on the war in Ukraine. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov attended the talks and said he's open to negotiations with the West over Ukraine, but accused the United States of abandoning talks with Russia.
It's actually sickening that these monsters who force these men to go to war and die for them can just freely go to look at this place. Like, look at this place. They could just freely go to these places. It's just horrible. I just hate it. Horrific.
At the meeting, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who refused to hold a formal meeting with Lavrov, accused Russia of not engaging in what he called meaningful diplomacy. The WNBA held its annual All-Star Game Sunday as one of its biggest superstars, Brittany Griner, remains locked up in a Russian jail. After halftime of Sunday's game, every player came out of the locker room wearing shirts with Griner's name and her number 42 on the back. ABC News is reporting former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson is expected to travel to Russia soon to attempt to secure the release of Griner, as well as Paul Whelan, who's been held since 2018. Brittany Griner is expected
back. Fuck Russia, honestly. Like, fuck Putin. What a fucking horrific state.
Back in a Russian court on Friday. A former spokesperson for the far-right Oath Keepers is set to testify publicly on Tuesday at the next hearing of the House January 6th committee.
Oh, that's going to be funny.
Tuesday's hearing is expected to focus on the role of the Oath Keepers and Proud Boys in the deadly insurrection.
Oh, should we watch that? We should watch that. How do I like get that live? Like, when's that going to happen? Do you think that'll be happening like about now-ish tomorrow? You know, like, just hearing what these fucking Nazi fucks are gonna say about this shit, right, is just gonna be so absurd. It's gonna be so absurd. I just want to watch them, like, flounder in court. Can you watch this shit live? Yeah, if you could have a look, like, let me know. Because I think it'd be interesting just to hear what these, like, boots on the ground Nazis are saying about this shit. You know what I mean? Just from a point of, like, you know, what are they fucking getting at? Like, what's their angle? What are they gonna lie about? You know what I mean? What's the over-under that he's gonna cry? I believe it. I believe he's gonna cry, yeah. PBS here is a live stream. Okay, sweet. Well, yeah, if anyone can find me a way to, like, have a look at that. I don't know if I can get, like, banned for that either, so I'm gonna, like, do a bit of research later on tonight. So we might watch that tomorrow, we might not. Don't know. So don't hold me to it. You know, if you come in here tomorrow and you're like, Donald, where's the fucking January 6th hearing? Just be like, chill. I don't know. Sorry.
Justice Department prosecutors have accused members of the Oath Keepers of bringing explosives to Washington, D.C., and for maintaining a death list of election officials in Georgia to target. I
want to see how they get around that. You know what I mean? I want to see how they get around that. 21 hours from now. Okay, all right. So, yeah, like, it will start a bit earlier than my stream, sure, yeah. Okay.
This is Donald Trump's former advisor, Steve Bannon, has informed the committee he's willing to testify publicly. Bannon was due to be tried this week for contempt of Congress. On Friday, the January 6th committee spent 8 hours privately questioning.
He is such a worm, Steve fucking Bannon. Like, can you really have such a fundamental role in radicalizing these men and then be like, don't worry, I'll testify against Donald Trump? Like, you worm. Like, literally, like, piece of shit.
Former White House counsel Pat Cipollone. One member of the committee, Democrat Zoe Lofgren, said Cipollone did not contradict the testimony of previous witnesses.
I don't know, super sweet boy.
In other election news, Wisconsin's Supreme Court has barred the use of absentee ballot drop boxes anywhere in the state outside of election offices. In her dissent, Wisconsin Justice Ann Walsh Bradley wrote, quote, "The majority lead opinion blithely and erroneously seeks to sow distrust in the administration of our elections and through its faulty analysis erects yet another barrier for voters to exercise this sacred right." The Biden administration is...
Hang on, I'm not sure I'm fucking following that. Like, there is such, like, word salad that goes on. Like, there is so much, like, appropriation of left-wing progressive language in what right-wingers say nowadays. I'm like, wait, was that a right-wing statement? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Okay, this is the Steve Bannon thing.
One member of the committee, Democrat Zoe Lofgren, said Cipollone did not contradict the testimony of previous witnesses. In other election news, Wisconsin's Supreme Court has barred the use of absentee ballot drop boxes anywhere in the state outside of election offices.
Right, that shit sucks. That is a bad thing. Like that's what I knew straight away from this. That's bad. But, like, what is this statement?
In her dissent, Wisconsin...
Oh, in her dissent. So she is being pro absentee ballot boxes at community centers. Right. I was like, what is she saying?
Justice Ann Walsh Bradley wrote, quote, "The majority lead opinion blithely and erroneously seeks to sow distrust in the administration of our elections and through its faulty analysis erects yet another barrier for voters to exercise this sacred right." The Biden administration is facing pressure to scrap plans to build a U.S. embassy in Jerusalem after a Palestinian legal group revealed the proposed embassy is located on land that was illegally confiscated by Israel from Palestinians in 1948.
Of course.
The historical document...
Like, that's all land in Israel, by the way. Like, that is actually all land owned by Israel, by the way, like, literally all of it.
Were made public by the Palestinian legal group Adalah ahead of President Biden's trip this week to Israel and the occupied West Bank. The group's legal...
They were doing it to make Americans feel at home. That's what it is. You're right, Jojo, yeah.
Director Suhad Bashara said, quote, "This plan is a serious escalation in U.S. legitimization of Israeli expropriation of land from Palestinians. If the Biden administration doesn't abandon it, then there is no other way to interpret the move than siding with Israel's racist policies," unquote. President Biden's looking into possibly declaring a public health emergency to expand abortion access after the Supreme Court over.
Oh, come on, dude. Just fucking do it. Just do it already.
Roe v. Wade. Biden was asked about the issue Sunday.
I'm going to think about it, Jack. Don't you worry.
While taking questions ahead of a bike ride.
One of the things they...
Oh, look at this fucking bike dickhead. Oh, his straps are all funny around his head. Like, come on, straighten out those straps, bro. I can't stand that. When I put my bike helmet on, those straps have got to be straight. They've got to be straight, like to my head, like flat to my face. You know what I mean? I'm having this twisted fucking bike right there. Why are you wearing like a polo shirt as well? What's going on? Like, this isn't golf.
Asking for is a public health emergency. Is that something you're considering?
That's something I'm asked the folks, the medical people in the administration to look at, whether I have the authority to do that and what impact that would have.
How do you... I want to know... I don't believe a word he's saying, by the way. I don't believe that he's, like, looking into whether he can do this or not. I think that he knows he can do this, and he's just, like, really towing that line of like, oh, well, you know, I don't want to upset the people on the right who might vote for us. I don't want to upset all those, like, you know, conservative Christian liberals who are like, fine. You know, all these liberals that like came out against, you know, whatever you want to call it, fucking like people who need like good access to abortion care and stuff like that. You know. Gilad Frid in the chat says, lol pronoun bot, and the only other message that you've sent is, oh, so JP is a fascist. I'll tell you who your dad is. Your dad's a fascist because he didn't let me come in his ass last night. But I'm a respectful guy. So, you know, now you can't chat in the Twitch chat. Also, he told me to tell you to do your homework. It's time for you to get off the internet and do your homework because you're now my son. You're now my stepson. I'm marrying your dad. See you later.
Okay.
Biden's comments came on the same day as some 10,000 reproductive rights activists rallied in Washington to urge the administration and lawmakers to do more to protect abortion.
We're demanding that the federal government do something to legalize abortion now. That waiting till November is not enough.
On Friday, President Biden signed an executive order to ensure access to abortion medication and emergency contraception while urging Congress to pass legislation to codify abortion rights. The White House...
Hypocrite, anti-fascist Muel marries a fascist. I can change him. Yeah, the politics category is fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's extremely fun. It's so funny. Like, that guy wasn't even following me. Like, you could just tell that, like, these guys just, like, flit around the politics category and they'll, like, try and, like, bait a leftist into a debate. Right? So they'll find a leftist and they'll be like, oh, okay, I'm going to, like, say something inflammatory and they'll end up debating me, you know?
Defended Biden's response so far to the Supreme Court ruling.
Which is why you should always just ban them straight away, because there's no point, because that's what they want to do. They want to debate you. Yeah.
Outgoing White...
Yeah, debate bait. Debate bait.
House Communications Director Kate Bedingfield said in a...
Like hummingbirds, but way less exciting. That's right. They see the nectar. They see the nectar of the leftist Twitch stream. They see the nectar of the leftist Twitch stream. And actually, you're right, because, you know, hummingbirds are actually addicted to certain types of nectar. You know that, right? Because the plants make it so addicting. So, yeah, that's like a really good analogy, because these guys are addicted to being online. They're, like, extremely online, 24/7. And that's it, you know?
Statement Saturday, quote, Joe Biden's goal in responding to Dobbs is not to satisfy some activists who have been consistently out of step with the mainstream of the Democratic Party, unquote. Meanwhile, Louisiana has become the 10th state to ban almost all abortions following the Supreme Court's ruling. On Friday, a judge in...
How can anyone in charge of Louisiana want to, like, do anything other than stop the state from going underwater? You know, like, that just blows my mind. It's like you are actually just, like, gonna be in charge of nothing very, very soon. And you're like, okay, we want people in our nothing state to not be able to get an abortion. That's very important to us. Just like how you're addicted to fucking their dads. That's right, yeah. Hummingbirds are shits. They fight each other in nasty ways too, but, like, they're pretty. That's how I feel about men, to be honest. Like, right there, that's how I feel about men. Yeah, you got that in one. You summed that up in one. You should have said that in a David Attenborough impersonation. Well, it's too late now, innit? It's too late now.
Louisiana lifted a temporary stay on the state's trigger law from going into effect. Environmental and indigenous groups are expressing concern the Biden administration may approve a massive oil and gas development in northern Alaska known as the Willow Project. On Friday, the Biden administration issued a new environmental analysis for ConocoPhillips' multi-billion-dollar...
Nothing natural about nature, brother. That's right, Cryogool. Welcome in.
Plan. One key backer of the project, Republican Alaskan Senator Lisa Murkowski, said she hopes construction can begin this winter. Kristen Miller, conservation director of the Alaska Wilderness League, said, quote, if approved, the Willow Project would be bigger than any other proposed oil and gas project on our nation's public lands, and it poses an unparalleled climate and biodiversity threat that puts President Biden's climate legacy at risk.
What is President Biden's climate legacy? What is his climate legacy? Stop trying to appeal to the fucking neoliberal ghouls who run the federal government. Like, that, it's just such brain rot. Like, what, do you think that he's gonna read that and be like, you're right, Jack, I gotta do something about the climate? Like, he doesn't give a fuck.
She said. In California, a fire near Yosemite National Park has grown to over 1,600 acres. It's threatening.
This is Joe Biden's climate legacy. Is this Joe Biden? This is Joe Biden's climate legacy, that he's gonna shit himself about the allowing something to be built on allowing something horrific to be built on public land. It's gonna tarnish it. So, like, this that's already happening now. Okay. Apparently it's going to be worse than this. Right. Okay. Got you. Very good legacy, actually, that he should try and preserve.
The park's
That's right, Confera. Welcome in.
Which is the home to over 500 giant sequoia trees. As of Sunday, the fire was 0% contained. Meanwhile, in Utah, the Halfway Hill fire has grown to nearly 8,000 acres. Deforestation in the Amazon in Brazil has reached a new record during the first half of the year. According to the Brazilian Space Agency, nearly 4,000 square kilometers have been deforested this year. That's an area 5 times the size of New York City.
This is nuts. This is absolutely nuts. And it's like, what actually for, though? Like, when you think about these logs, right? It's like, how many of these logs does the world need? Like, how many do they actually need? Do we need in the world? Like, what do they use for? Paper? Like, what kind, just get people on email. Dead easy. Simple. Solve it tomorrow. Get people on email. But of course, it's capitalism, right? They just need to, like, keep building nonsense things. Like, oh yeah, just throw out your old table, buy a new fucking mahogany one, and just keep doing that. Like, every 2 years, because we're going to make the first table extremely bad quality so that you have to throw it out every 2 years, because that's just how we preserve this fucking machine. See you later, Smutty Baba Yaga. Thank you for being here.
Deforestation has surged under the right-wing presidency of Jair Bolsonaro. This is Manola Machado, a wildfire and deforestation researcher at Oxford University.
This is very bad. The first semester in the Amazon is when we have...
This is very bad.
The rainy season, so we shouldn't be seeing these high numbers. This historically is not the peak of deforestation, shouldn't be happening while it's raining. So we have a combination of a drier climate with more motivation to deforest. So this is extremely bad news.
Scientists say preserving the Amazon is crucial to addressing the climate catastrophe.
I don't want to put down that person who is obviously like very intelligent and stuff like that, but to me it just sounded like they were just saying, this is very bad, this is very bad, this is extremely bad. Like that's what like that sounded like to my ADHD brain. Very bad, very bad, very bad.
Catastrophe.
Yeah.
In other news from Brazil, a supporter of Bolsonaro shot dead a local official of Brazil's opposition Workers' Party on Saturday. The attacker reportedly shouted words of praise for Bolsonaro as he shot Marcela Arruda, who was at a party celebrating his birthday. The Workers' Party is led by former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, who's running against Bolsonaro in this year's presidential election. In business,
fascists are terrified. They're terrified of workers' parties. They're absolutely terrified. You know, and let's not forget that Jair Bolsonaro is the guy who literally held up an AR-15 and said, this is what we're going to use against the Workers' Party about 6 months ago. Like, we covered that literally 6 months ago on the channel. Like, that was a thing that he said, you know? And look what happens. That inspires stochastic terrorism, as it always does. Making statements like that, you know?
News, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, has notified Twitter he wants to withdraw from a $44 billion...
Oh, this is fucking extremely funny, by the way. Everything about this is extremely funny. I was watching somebody talk about this today. I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was Shark 300, maybe. Talk about how, like, he wanted to pay the shareholder, because you don't just like give a company $44 billion cash, right? You don't just write a check, right? You have to pay the shareholders the share price for however many shares they've got. So if you've got 100 shares that are like priced at $5, then you are paying $500 to that shareholder or more, right? And so Elon Musk, because actually he doesn't actually know that much about business, because all of his wealth is inherited and he stole a bunch of patents from people who'd already invented things, such as, you know, the name Tesla. It's obviously not his name. And he thinks that he's being really smart and going like, oh yeah, I'll give all these guys who are shareholders, I'll give them $420 per share, which ended up making the bid $44 billion. Like, that's why it's $44 billion. But here's the thing. When you've made a bid like that to some very, very powerful people, they're going to want that dough. They're going to go, no, sorry, bro. You said you were going to give us that, and we want it. And he's gonna end up in court. This could be the thing that destroys this man. And oh boy, wouldn't it be funny, chat? Wouldn't it be funny if Elon Musk ended up going bankrupt because his ex-wife got with a transgender woman, and so he got mad, so he wanted to buy Twitter, and he did not know exactly how to do what he did. Like, that would be so fucking good. I would love that. I would absolutely cream. I would cream so hard. My brain, like, put it in my brussy. Put it in my brain pussy. Put that information right in my brain pussy. Holy fucking shit. Be right back a sec, gang. I just got to let in my partner. She's just got here. Give me a sec. Okay, chat. Oh! American Graham Linehan. Bankrupt because girl dick. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, that is funny as fuck. They can force him to follow through with the deal, which is hilarious. Are you a Red Dwarf fan? No. Why? What made you say that? You'd go bankrupt for girl dick too? You're saying like getting divorced, it wasn't the thing that utterly destroyed him. Yeah. I hope his divorce gets footnotes in history textbooks. Yeah, me too. It'd be very funny. Right, let's continue.
$1 deal to buy the social media company. Twitter's...
Look at this fucking dance. I love Democracy Now! So much. I love this news channel so much.
$44 billion deal.
Oh,
to
look
buy
at this
the
shit.
social
Look at this
media
shit.
company.
Oh, that is fucking
Twitter's
funny.
board, which initially opposed...
Oh, that is so fucking funny. The chin thing was from Red Dwarf. No, the chin thing, this... You're talking about this. This is on my stream right now. You're watching twitch.tv/djmuel. It's my stream. It's my stream that you watch. You're not watching Red Dwarf now. This is the thing that's happening live. Okay, all right, there you go. How you doing, Quill? What's going on? Welcome in. Please go follow Quill, everybody. They're very, very good. Very, very cool. Very, very sexy. How are you doing? I hope you had a great time in Brighton, I think, this weekend.
Opposed Musk's purchase is expected to sue Musk for pulling out.
Damn, imagine getting sued just for pulling out. You were just trying to not get someone pregnant.
Your new investigation by The Guardian and the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists has revealed how...
Oh, it was London. Oh, I thought you went to Brighton for some reason. That's my bad.
Uber secretly lobbied governments and flouted laws to ruthlessly grow and expand across the globe. The probe is based on 124,000 leaked internal documents, including many from France, which show how Emmanuel Macron signed a secret deal when he was the French economy minister to help Uber's lobbying efforts. The leaked documents also show Uber helped evade government regulators by using a, quote, kill switch during raids to prevent police from obtaining internal data.
Yeah, this one is a bit nuts. It's like, oh, okay, Macron literally, like, helped Uber be a piece of shit.
In Albuquerque, New Mexico,
so bad.
A 15-year-old black teenager named Brett Rosenau died Thursday from smoke inhalation after a police SWAT team fired multiple rounds of munitions into a house during a standoff targeting another individual. Authorities are investigating whether police officers started the house fire by firing tear gas canisters into the home. The target of the SWAT team escaped the fire and has been hospitalized with burn wounds.
I need to read that again. Hey, hey, Cherry Squarey, what's going on? Yeah, Macron does suck. Fuck that guy. Hang on, what the fuck happened?
Other individual. Authorities are investigating whether police officers started the house fire by firing tear gas canisters into the home. The target of the SWAT team escaped the fire and has been hospitalized with burn wounds. And in South Africa,
fucking hell.
At least 15 people have died in a mass shooting at a bar in Soweto Township in Johannesburg. 9 people were critically injured. There are reports a group of men carried out the attack. 4 other people died Saturday in a separate shooting at another tavern in the South African city of Pietermaritzburg. The incidents came just weeks after 21 South African teenagers died under mysterious circumstances at a bar in the city of East London. And those are some of the headlines.
Wait, what? 21 South African teenagers died under mysterious circumstances at a bar in East London? Wait, in the city of East London? Is that a city in South Africa? East London, South Africa. Yeah, okay, it's a city in South Africa. I was like, East London? It's like, what, in fucking Peckham? Like, you know, obviously it's a that's still messed up. Extremely messed up.
And those are some of the headlines. This is
Anyway, there we go. There's the fucking War on Peace report. Well done, everybody. Well done, well done, well done. We got through it. How are you doing, 30 Bird? Welcome in. Yeah, 1312. Holy shit. Fuck all that. Fuck the police. We did it. We did it, chat. We did it, Reddit. We've gotten through the news. And we're doing fine. Thank you, Amy. That's right. That's right, Cynthia. Everybody in chat say thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy, for bringing us the news. Appreciate you, Amy. So now we're gonna watch Positive Leftist news. Very exciting. Very, very, very exciting. Right there. Right there. PLN. Literally, we're gonna watch PLN. Canada has a London too. They even have a river called Thames. Well, yeah, that makes sense because Canada was like Britain's America for a long time. What's the channel that Amy's on? It's called Democracy Now! Check it out. It's the only news channel that I fucking watch. Here is a link to the video that I just watched, Mel's Ghost. So enjoy it. But yeah, like I say, we're going to watch Positive Leftist News now because it's time to get uplifted. This is the Positive Leftist News for June 2022. And this one is hosted by our very own Sophie From Mars. Finally, some positive leftist news
with Sophie from Mars, but beloved throughout the solar system.
Yes.
Hey, welcome to Positive Leftist News. You have nothing to lose but your chains. There are more of us than there are of them. I am your host this month, Sophie from Mars, and I'm really excited to be here, but I do have a sore throat from hay fever. Nonetheless, I'm so hyped to tell you about cool and good things that comrades around the world are doing to make the world a better place that I'm gonna power on through it anyway. Okay, let me tell you about some positive leftist news.
Hell yeah.
The Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes are celebrating the return of more than 18,000 acres of their land in northern Montana, including an important bison range. In 2020, Congress passed a law to transition management of the land from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service back to the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes, who will now once again be managing the range.
Hell yeah.
U.S. Interior Secretary Deb Haaland, who signed off on the law, said with the loss of tribal homelands in the early 1900s and depletion of bison herds, Plains tribes lost traditional connections with the cultural keystone species. The visitor center previously contained inaccuracies about the tribe and their histories, which they have rectified. The visitor center is now open, featuring new exhibits that better reflect the tribe's involvement in bison conservation. Oral histories are now included that recount how the U.S. discriminated against and excluded tribal members from land management operations when the area was turned into a wildlife refuge. The tribes also recently produced a documentary titled In the Spirit of Atatitsa, which sets the record straight about who initially brought bison to the area. They are now working to build a bigger museum and share the history with a wider audience. Fantastic news. Land back everywhere.
Hell yeah.
Ecuadorian indigenous leader Leonidas Issa has been released from detention less than 1 day after he was arrested on suspicion of sabotage amid nationwide anti-government protests.
Remember we were covering this? We were covering Democracy Now! Covering this. I think last month, just in the middle of last month, because there were a bunch of protests from indigenous people at the Ecuadorian government's parliament and stuff. This is dope. Let's fucking go.
Angry over rising gas and food prices, indigenous protesters in Ecuador have set up roadblocks across major highways and say their protests will continue until the government listens. The protesters were blocking roads with burning tires, stones, trees, and mounds of earth in at least 10 of the country's 24 provinces. They are calling on the right-wing Lasso government to freeze gasoline costs at a lower price, stop plans to expand oil and mining development, and extend deadlines for small farmers to pay off debts.
And we're just gonna see more and more of this, the more that capitalism tries to extract as much value as it can from the land and the people. Like, it's just like the more that capitalism goes into overdrive, the more resistance against it goes into overdrive too. So, you know, which way, Western fucking imperialist hegemonic bastards?
Issa stood with dozens of other indigenous people on a highway south of Quito, urging Lasso not to allow the IMF to impose policy, and saying, "Mr. President, respond to the people on the most urgent, necessary, and painful issues." Issa, a leader of the powerful Confederation of Indigenous Nationalities of Ecuador, or CONE, was arrested violently south of Quito, and CONE decried the arrest as arbitrary and illegal, calling for a radicalization of protests. "We call our organizational structure to a great indigenous and popular uprising," the coalition tweeted after Issa's arrest. "Long live the social struggle."
Hell yeah.
Protesters rallied to a call for Issa's release, which happened soon after.
These fucking cops, like, how could you ever, like, it's just... the right-wingers have to do so much mental gymnastics to call themselves the good guys. Like, look at this picture. Like, a picture speaks 1,000 words. They say that, right? And look at this. You've got these heavily militarized police against these, like, beautiful, colorful, like, you know, they're, like, wearing colorful clothes. You know, they're just, like, wearing masks to protect each other because they care about each other's health. Like, you know... Like, how could you ever convince yourself that these people are bad and these people are good? How could you do that much mental gymnastics to be like, yeah, these fucking Nazi stormtroopers here that are literally there to destroy these people, they're the good guys. They're the good guys, and I support them. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. It's severe brain rot.
Addressing the crowd with a loudspeaker, Issa said, "We are not going to be demoralized."
That's right, Catgirl
Long
Catalina.
live the
Hello.
struggle, the crowd shouted in response. The CONE Alliance is a powerful force in Ecuador, where indigenous people make up more than 1 million of the country's 17.7 million population. Major solidarity with this powerful movement.
Hell yeah.
In Spain, Congress has ratified Convention 189 of the International Organization of Workers with 325 votes in favor and only 1 abstention. This convention assures that domestic and care workers have labor rights equivalent to those of any other salaried worker. Prior to its ratification, more than 600,000 domestic and care workers had been working for decades without the right to unemployment benefits, with free dismissals, with minimum pensions, without occupational risk prevention, and even in situations of semi-slavery, such as internal work. Around 100 workers gathered near the Congress to celebrate this historic win. Activist Donatita Gamara exclaimed through the loudspeaker, "Thank you all for your struggle. Ratification is a political achievement. We not only know how to make demands, but how to craft proposals and make them heard."
Hell yeah.
Congratulations to the dedicated workers who made this happen. In Tunisia, a strike...
Inachu in the chat, first chat message, says, "Blame that California bank robbery for the boot-jacked police." Pardon me? Sorry, not quite sure what you're saying there. Can you just, like, rephrase that or something? I'm not quite understanding you. Some base news from a costuming backstage union. What is that? Did I just miss that? Have I got ADHD that bad that I just missed that? Wild as fuck that they didn't already have this. Oh, we're doing workers' rights already.
Achievement. Exclaimed through 100 workers gathered near the... Even in situations of...
Oh, shit. Okay, that's what's going on. Wait, no, we covered this yesterday, didn't we? No, this was something different. It was something different yesterday. We're seeing more and more, like, performers, like performance-based labor, demand unionization, and it's really, really good to see. Like, that's what we were talking about yesterday. We were talking about medieval fair, which is like a fucking where you go and, like, eat food and apparently watch guys in armor. Medieval times. That's right. Yeah. It just reminded me that I saw it. It wasn't related to the video. Oh, okay. Yeah, doing stuff like that is definitely going to help ADHD streamer. Yeah, it's definitely good. Definitely good to do that.
Without the right to unemployment benefits, with free dismissals, with minimum pensions, without occupational risk.
It doesn't matter. It's still good news. I appreciate the good news.
Prevention, and even in situations of semi-slavery, such as internal work. Around 100 workers gathered near the Congress to celebrate this historic win. Activist Donatita...
Hey, Sterling, how you doing, gang? Please go follow Sterling's Kitchen, everybody. He is a wonderful, wonderful friend of mine. How are you doing, pal? Welcome in. I'm sorry, it's how my brain works. Listen, I'm not actually that bothered. I don't actually care that much.
Mara exclaimed through the
like I could literally say, like, please don't chat in my chat because it's distracting. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Loudspeaker, thank you all for your struggle. Ratification is a political achievement. We not only know how to make demands, but how to craft proposals and make them heard.
Damn right,
Congratulations
Sterling.
to the dedicated workers who made this happen.
Same
In
to
Tunisia,
you.
a strike by the country's largest labor union ground the country to a halt despite last-minute attempts by the country's president, Kais Saied, to prevent it from taking place. The Tunisian General Labor Union organized the nationwide strike, bringing out 3 million public sector workers and leading to closed airports, public transport, ports, and government offices. Several
Let's
hundred
fucking
workers
go.
from state companies
Hey, Gumba
gathered in
Master.
front of the UGTT's headquarters in the capital Tunis to hold a rally against the government's decision to freeze wages and cut subsidies as part of the government deal to secure a $4 billion loan from the predatory IMF. The IMF must be destroyed.
Hell yeah.
Mondi, the Secretary General of the Union at the National Office of Sanitation, said, "The government went ahead with its reform plan without consulting the UGTT. While we have social and economic questions that need to be addressed, we had no choice but to strike." UGTT plays such a key role in Tunisian politics that their disruptions are seriously...
Wait, are those Palestinian flags? Have they got Palestinian flags?
UGTT plays such a key role in...
That's the Palestinian flag. That's absolutely fucking based. That's absolutely fucking based. I fucking love this shit. I fucking love this shit.
Tunisian politics that their disruptions are seriously hindering negotiations between Said and the IMF. Solidarity with our Tunisian comrades saying hell no to more economic imperialism.
Yeah, let's go.
More than
Tunisia.
100 Apple Store workers in Maryland have voted...
What is the IMF? The IMF is the International Monetary Fund. They are responsible for the constant struggles that countries like Cuba, pretty much all of South America, so like the Sri Lanka stuff is all about the IMF, right? They basically, yeah, predatory imperialist loan sharks. That's exactly what they do, yeah. Yeah, 100%. The Palestinian and Ukrainian flags at Trans Pride too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's it's good to see a lot of solidarity happening, you know? International money fuckers. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
to join the Machinists Union, becoming the first Apple union in America.
Oh, this is huge. This is literally huge. Like, becoming the first Apple union. Like, think about Apple as a company. Like, planned obsolescence, obscene amounts of money being spent on fucking shit products that don't work past when they're supposed to. Again, that's part of planned obsolescence, but you know what I mean. And just some of the worst working conditions for people who have to mine the materials in order to make the batteries for the phones, and then the people who put the phones together in you know, sweatshops in China and Indonesia, and then in America, of course, generally speaking, it's just people who are like in the retail stores and stuff. Holy fucking shit.
Called the Apple Coalition of Organized Retail Employees, or Apple Corps.
Apple Corps!
To unionize on a nearly 2-to-1 margin, and the result provides a foothold for a budding movement among Apple retail employees. Union leaders say that workers at more than 24 of Apple's US stores have expressed interest in unionizing in recent months. IAM International President Robert Martinez applauded the courage of Apple Corps organizers, saying they made a huge sacrifice for thousands of Apple employees across the nation who all had eyes on this election.
Do you think Apple will start to roll out automated stores run by AI algorithms in reaction to the unions? Listen, if they did that, that would be the biggest mistake of neoliberal capital in the 21st century. Because as soon as you do that and drive unemployment up to, you know, levels beyond, because as soon as Apple starts doing that, other companies are going to start doing it, right? And then before you know it, we literally need universal basic income, right? When universal basic income happens, you can forget capitalism. There's no more money to be made anywhere. There's no more exploitation to be had. Like, you know, it's literally that. It's literally that. That would be the single biggest mistake that they ever did. So do I think they'll do it? No, because I think they're smarter than that. But there's a chance that they could not be smarter than that. Who knows? Apple and Starbucks workers leading the way here. Yep. Absolutely. Corpos have to rise the automation wave extremely carefully. Yeah. Ride the automation wave. Yeah, defo.
Despite months of pushback by Call of Duty publisher Activision Blizzard, quality assurance staff at its Raven Software studio voted to unionize this month, becoming the first union at a big studio in the US. The successful vote comes at a time when labor organizing is picking up across the gaming industry as developers call for better pay, job security, and corporate accountability. The vote, which was live streamed on Twitch, represented 28 QA devs at the Wisconsin studio that assist with Call of Duty Warzone and other big blockbusters, and ended in a tally of 19 in favor and 3 against, with 2 votes being challenged. Called the Game Workers Alliance, GWA, the group is now legally recognized by the National Labor Relations Board and can proceed to negotiate its first contract with Activision Blizzard to secure better pay and other improved working conditions.
Great news.
Activision
Thank you for the
Blizzard
follow.
worked tirelessly to undermine our efforts to establish our union, but we persevered, members of GWA said in a statement. Now that we've won our election, it is our duty to protect these foundational values on which our union stands. Riding the wave of labor organizing in the gaming industry, quality assurance workers at Keyword Studios in Edmonton, Canada, which supports BioWare projects like Mass Effect Legendary Edition, have voted unanimously in favor of a union. The Alberta Labour Board counted the votes and found all 16 eligible QA workers voted yes, and bargaining is now underway. Workers started talking about unionization in March after the studio implemented a return to office order that meant hundreds of dollars in extra expenses for commuting workers. Already frustrated by low pay, the workers found higher commuting costs harder to swallow, and also found the work from home flexibility a meaningful benefit. As workers did not receive paid time off, going back to the office was challenging because developing any COVID-19 symptoms would mean having to take a personal day off rather than simply being able to work from home. We all got together and started talking about what it would look like in terms of costs for each of us individually.
Interesting that they're showing Mass Effect Legendary footage, and lots of people in the Discord were talking about Mass Effect today. I know that this is a month old. We've not got to it just yet, but yeah. Really fucking, I love it when shit like that happens. Synchronicity, innit? Hey, Mr. Dank, how you doing?
Said James, a worker and union organizer. We had a choice. We can either try to quit and go find another job, but we love what we do. We don't want to leave. So we decided to form a union to see if we can drive some positive change in our workplace. We're ecstatic. The union will assist us going forward into bargaining that the whole team is completely united on this effort. Solidarity and big congrats to the
this is what you have to think. Like, if you are watching this stream and you are in a job that you despise, not because of the ethics of the job, but because of the fact that you're being exploited, the fact that the management doesn't listen to you, the fact that the CEO doesn't listen to you, and you don't really want to like change your jobs, right? You don't really want to like change your jobs. Then, you know, you're gonna fucking you're gonna have to unionize, because that's the only way to do it, and it is possible, and you can do it. There were a couple of spoilers in that video too. That was a trailer. People are gonna start putting spoiler warnings in front of trailers soon. Like, I know that is actually valid for some people. Like, some people don't like watching trailers. I personally don't like watching trailers if it's like a film I want to watch. But like, it's a trailer. It's a trailer. Like, you know, I don't know if you could say that was a spoiler thing, you know.
Organizing team. And in the publishing industry, the workers at 7 Seas Entertainment...
Hey, Corridor, what's going on?
Their mission statement reads, 7 Seas Entertainment is the #1 independent publisher of manga, danmei, and light novels in the US. The company has grown exponentially since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. But with the rapid growth comes growing pains, and we, the workers of 7 Seas, have been shouldering much of that pain. We find ourselves overworked, underpaid, and do not currently receive benefits otherwise typical of the publishing industry. We are dedicated to producing a broad range of high-quality content for our readers, but the only way we can do that is if employees are taken care of. For these reasons, we have formed the United Workers of 7 Seas, UW7S. As a union, we seek to negotiate better working conditions for both 7 Seas employees and the many freelancers who make this company what it is. Amazing to see the sharp rise in unionization in the publishing and gaming industries. The No Base movement in Italy picked up a major momentum this month, drawing over 10,000 people in ongoing demonstrations against the construction of a military base in Pisa.
Oh, that's fucking sick. Oh, that's so fucking good.
The movement calls itself No Base, neither in Coltano nor elsewhere, indicating activists' opposition to bases everywhere. Activists demand that the project be withdrawn and the €190 million redirected to address actual working class priorities.
Oh, let's fucking
Thailand
go.
has
That
become-
rocks so hard. And that is like great news again in terms of like, because this is something I've spoken about over the last month or like the last couple of months. Like, it's important to think about what we could do to oppose imperialism, right? Well, there's not much you could do to stop like a military base that's already there, right? Without putting yourself in danger or like maybe doing something illegal against the law that's going to get you in trouble. So like, what can you do? Oh, well, you could stop new bases from being built 1,000%. Of course you can. What do? You just go there and just chill where they want to do it, and you just don't move. And it's like, nope, sorry, you can't fucking, you literally just can't like build here, you know? Brilliant. Oh my god, this is fucking huge. Thailand has become the first country in Asia to take marijuana off its banned list of banned substances.
The first country in Asia to take marijuana off its list of banned substances and to allow people to grow the plant at home.
This is absurd. Listen, you used to literally like get put in prison for having weed on you in Thailand. Like that was literally the law. And I believe if you were like dealing, you could like get the death sentence. Whoa, that's fucking huge.
This is a major policy shift in a country that has long been known for its harsh drug laws, but the Thai government hopes this change will boost the tourism industry.
Are you fucking shitting me? Are you shitting me? Do you have any idea how much I want to go to Thailand and smoke a big spliff on a beach? Like, that's the dream, baby. That's the fucking dream. Of course it will. Of course it will make money for tourism. 1,000%.
Hope that Thai
You know, I understand, like, if people are going to be a bit, like, what do you call it? What's the word? Pessimistic about this news. Like, oh, you know, they're only doing it so they can make money out of tourists and stuff like, well, you have to remember, non-reformist reforms do make space for a lot of people who are going to now be able to take part in revolutionary activism, which could lead to, you know, unionization and stuff like that. Like, think about how many disabled people are going to benefit from this. Think about how many chronically ill people are no longer going to be terrified of breaking the law because they know that weed is going to help them with the pain management a lot better than opiates do. And now they can just, like, grow a fucking plant at home. And that's amazing. That's actually it. Like, and if you can grow a plant at home, by the way, of course they're going to make money with tourism. But if you're a disabled, chronically ill person and you grow one plant in your home, that will literally last you for fucking months. Because if you grow a fucking weed plant right, you can get like maybe 10 ounces off a plant or more. You know? Hello, Kay Croaky. Weed on the beach is very, very fun. Yes, it is. That's right. Leftwood Edward, how are you doing? Extreme hopium overload. Yeah, we're getting that hopium today, you know? Community vacation in Thailand now instead of South Korea. The food's also great in Thailand. Well, they do a lot of great street food in Thailand, don't they? Yeah, we should check out some Thai street food videos. I fucking love pad Thai as well, and I love Thai green curry as well. Hey, Radical Maniac, how you doing? Yo, gang, please go show some love to Radical Maniac. Phenomenal streamer. Lefty, very cool, very based. How are you doing?
Farmers and small businesses will also benefit from the production of the crop. The best part? Some 4,000 prisoners serving jail time for cannabis-related crimes will soon be released.
Oh, that's fucking huge as well.
And their criminal records for those offenses will be deleted.
See, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. Do you know how many fucking, like, African Americans are still incarcerated for weed-related crimes in states where it's legal? You know? That's fucking huge. That's fucking huge. Oh, yeah, look at that. The thing that the states didn't do.
Happen worldwide. The Too Good To Go app, which aims to prevent food waste, launched this month in Ottawa. The app allows business...
I've got this. This is good. This is good to get. Not good if you've got ADHD and you forget to get it all the time. But Too Good To Go is very cool and very good.
to sign up
I keep forgetting that I've got it, but I do have it.
Discounted prices at the end of the day. Sam Kashani, country manager for the Too Good To Go app, said the surprise element really allows businesses to get as close as possible to zero food waste. The surprise bag really allows them to capture all of their surplus food and for consumers to enjoy a delicious meal or delicious baked goods, he said. While we'd love to see the food being donated for free, as it would go into the trash anyway, the concept of the app could open possibilities for more radical and decentralized forms of distribution and waste prevention.
This is it. This is it. This is it. Now, while this may not be a political reform, this is a reform of capitalism, right? It's like, hang on a minute, we can profit from this stuff that we normally would just throw away, right? And while that sounds shit, Sophie's absolutely right. This will make room for other more radical food distribution and waste prevention. Yeah, 1000%.
And less food in landfills is...
They do have... Well, it depends if you've got, like, a vegan restaurant in your area. If you've got a vegan restaurant in your area, you can tell them to go on the Too Good To Go app. You know what I mean?
Always great to see. In Mexico, the state of Puebla just banned conversion therapy.
Oh, hell yeah.
The Puebla Congress approved the punishment of up to 3 years in prison and a fine of up to 19,000 pesos for those carrying out conversion practices that seek to change people's sexual orientation. While the vote was taking place, LGBTQ activists and their allies demonstrated in front of the Congress against conversion therapies, which an independent expert of the United Nations said may amount to forms of torture.
Oh,
and the
fucking
state
love
of
that
Veracruz
shit.
in Mexico has just approved same-sex marriage. The vote passed with a 38 in favor, 5 against, and 0 abstentions. Fantastic to see this wave of movement in support of our LGBTQ comrades in Mexico.
Mexico is literally, like, doing really well with stuff like that at the moment. And it's really interesting to see because Mexico is actually one of, like, the worst countries to be in for transgender people in terms of, like, violence towards transgender people. Of course, as always, transgender women of color are on the receiving end of it more than anything. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that affects, I guess, like, countrywide acceptance of queer people, especially trans people, you know?
The Church of Scotland has voted to allow clergy to conduct same-sex marriages for the first time. Members of the General Assembly in Edinburgh voted to change church law following years of campaigning. Last year, the Methodist Church became the largest religious denomination in the UK to permit same-sex marriages. It is not allowed in the Church of England or the Roman Catholic Church, but is welcomed in the Scottish Episcopal Church, the United Reformed Church, and the Quakers.
Hell yeah, let's go.
Amid attacks on their right to medical care, trans...
Back to the weed point, I learned this week that if the product goes back here in some of the legal states, it needs to be mixed with cat litter to prevent dumpster diving. Oh, that fucking sucks. That fucking sucks. I just checked Too Good To Go. It doesn't have anything in my area. That sucks. And again, that's a reason why we can't rely on capitalism to do stuff like that for us, right? You know what I mean? It would be much better if these companies that sell food don't just throw food away in it. You know what I mean? Scotland is based as fuck on a lot of things I've heard. Scotland are pretty good for a country that's in the United Kingdom. Yeah, I agree. It's probably one of the best. I think it is the best country. I think Wales is closely behind it. And then I think even Northern Ireland has got some better stuff than England. You know? Yeah. Yeah, like all governments, it's got its issues. Yeah, it's not perfect.
Youth in Texas saw a win this month after a court order allowed a Dallas hospital to resume treatments for trans adolescents.
Brilliant. Fucking smashing. Like, this is fucking great. This is great news.
Melissa Bellin of the Dallas County Court granted Jimena Lopez, a doctor at Children's Medical Center Texas, a restraining order that allows her and other doctors to continue providing medical care to trans youth.
So, a restraining order to allow someone to provide medical care for trans youth. That's so weird. How backwards is that? Extremely backwards. It's like, okay, like, just allow them to give medical care to trans people, you know? Like, fucking hell. If we sawed off everything below London, this would actually be a nice country to live in. Everything below London? Wait, what do you mean? Like, saw off fucking London. Sorry. You know, get all the based people out of London and put them in places like, you know, Manchester, Newcastle, Birmingham, Cardiff, you know, Bristol, and just fucking get rid of London. All the bankers, all the finance ministers, all the fucking, you know, just cut London off. But also, hi, a cat made entirely of urine, one of my favorite usernames in my community. How are you doing? Vord, how are you doing as well? What's going on? There's a lot in your area with the Too Good To Go stuff. Cool. Feels like the UK is just trying to speedrun independence movements under the Tories. Well, this is the thing. The Tories aren't doing that on purpose, but it's happening. It's happening literally at like breakneck speed because of, you know, the terrible way in which the Tories are trying to run the government, you know? As in south of London, it's where all the Tories are. Now you're just getting too complicated. Listen, just admit you were wrong. Just admit you were wrong and let's all move on.
The temporary order will allow...
Like, you know, all the Tories live south of London. For a start, no, they don't. There are a bunch of Tories that live in the north. You know, secondly, you're wrong. L plus ratio plus you're a cat made entirely of urine plus you fell off.
Al Lopez to offer medications like puberty blockers and HRT to new patients seeking out the gender clinic services. These services were
Listen, you defended me, you know, with my overnight oats, but I got to draw the line somewhere, you know.
After protesters relentlessly picketed outside the hospital, leading it to dissolve the gender education and care clinic run by Lopez. In her ruling, the judge stated that the hospital had broken the law by...
My mind has been blonde with the Too Good To Go app. Just did a search on an Irish bakery down the street as a bag for $5. What do you mean my mind has been blonde? What do you mean by that?
Discriminating against patients on the basis of the patient's gender identity. Within hours of the decision, 5 patients had signed up for care at the center. While this order is only temporary, the court will have a hearing...
Blown, okay, good. I'm very glad that you made a typo there.
...for an injunction against the hospital soon, which the Transgender Education Network of Texas is very hopeful about. Trans rights are human rights. Protect trans kids.
Hell yeah.
On Sunday, 6th of June, Thailand held its first official LGBTQ Pride Parade in Bangkok in more than 15 years. This change arrived alongside new governor Chadchat Sitipund, an independent politician who has been vocal in his support for LGBT rights. At present, Thailand has no marriage equality or gender recognition law, and LGBT discrimination and prejudice is rife. However, Chadchat brings hope for the future as he has promised to tackle some of these issues. Quote, Chadchat will be the first governor who will support LGBT issues through his policies, says Kath, a trans activist and lecturer at the Thammasat University. Moreover, Pride will provide a space for the LGBT community to celebrate and will help shift societal norms.
2 solid changes in Thailand, yeah, like, you know, and it has to be said that this is a country where if you, like, make fun of the king, you can just get shot by the government, you know? So it's, like, interesting that governments like that can do stuff. Not saying that it's good. Obviously, I despise monarchy, but it's just so interesting that like this stuff is happening in a place like that, right? And it kind of makes you think like, just how fucking different and horrific places like the US, where it's like, oh, we don't have a king, you know, so we're very progressive. Like we don't have a king. We're actually like the big major republic in the imperial core. And they're absolutely dog shit with things like weed. They're absolutely dog shit with things like LGBTQ plus rights. So, you know.
Our community becomes stronger and we will have motivation to fight and move forward, says Akakawat Primsawan, co-founder of Queer Riot. It's like a bridge that connects us.
Queer Riot,
New
I like the sound of that.
coming from Hawaii offers protection for gender-affirming care. Hawaii just passed a bill that requires insurance companies to provide coverage for procedures that they formerly treated as cosmetic and did not cover.
Yes!
Insurance companies in Hawaii
Let's go,
are now
Hawaii!
required to cover services like facial feminization surgery, laser hair removal, and voice therapy.
Yes!
The bill stipulates that these services must be covered if they are deemed medically necessary by a healthcare provider. The bill further outlines that insurance agencies must list which procedures they cover. The bill was crafted with input from healthcare providers, trans advocates, and representatives from the insurance sector.
Amazing.
Last month, thousands took to the streets across all major cities in Croatia, and some minor cities as well, to protest the status of women's rights and the failure of the healthcare system to ensure them. These rights not only include abortion rights, but the right to safe and respectful healthcare, given the abuse that countless women and people with uteruses have suffered.
Let's go smoke weed at Thai Pride. That's right, Monsieur Squirrel. How you doing?
In the healthcare system. This abuse is mostly related to pregnancies and gynecological procedures, with no investigation or reforms having been done to improve the conditions. This major protest was triggered by the recent case of Mirella Kaveda, a pregnant woman who has a strong medical case to terminate her pregnancy. The fetus has a malignant tumor, and the baby will be stillborn or will die within the first few months. But Mirella has been denied the procedure in Croatia. No hospital or doctor would do the procedure, using their right of conscientious objection and claiming incompetence once the media took the story. The pro-life people and far-right politicians were going as far as comparing the procedure to grotesque war crimes. The good news is that Mirella's story inspired people to
committing a war crime in the uterus to own the state. Like, honestly, like, it's just such mental fucking gymnastics. Some scary guy says capitalism failed, we need nationalism. Well, actually, you're not very scary. You've got an anime profile picture, plus you're banned in the Twitch chat. Also, I'm having sex with your dad right now. Literally right now. So there you go.
come together and raise money 6 times more than the...
just for purposes of John Twitch and not getting banned, I'm actually not having sex with that person's dad right now. But funny. Extremely funny. Like, this is what I'm saying, innit? Like, this is what I'm saying, like, when I'm like, you know, sometimes I get like a little excited to see what they're gonna bring to the table sometimes when I go into the politics section, because it's literally like a guy with an anime profile picture with whose account name is literally some scary guy being like, capitalism failed, we need nationalism. My friend, you would be one of the first in the gas chambers if the people you love got into power. Do you understand how degenerate they think you are? Like, you have no allies with the far right. They do not want to be associated with fucking basement-dwelling nerds like you who think that Kekistan is a funny place to make up and that Pepe memes are, like, the way forward in like, nationalism. Like, you're extremely embarrassing to everyone. Like, absolutely everyone. It is just so hilarious how you don't see that. I'm never getting rid of my anime, but these chuds are giving me a bad name. No, it's fine. It's literally like there are incredibly good animes out there, so, you know. Well, Pepe memes are so 2015. Yeah, exactly. Like, anything Pepe, like, that's related to the far right is so, like, 2015. You know what I mean? Like, people don't even do that anymore. Like, we've got Pepe emotes in my chat. You know? Oh, it's fucking funny. Like, we literally won. Like, they would, you know, they want to talk, those guys back then want to talk about, like, the meme war. Like, we literally won the meme war. Like, we got Pepe back, innit? You fucking worm.
Amount needed, in fact, to do the procedure abroad, and, most importantly, that her bravery to go public about the case mobilized this massive movement against the rising pro-life movement in the country. While abortion is technically legal in Croatia within the first 10 weeks, and under special circumstances afterwards, it is often unavailable because...
I was in a hospital and I saw a random sign that said, we support LGBTQIA+ rights. But sometimes our staff may ask if you were born female at birth. I understand they need to know in case of pregnancy or complications with the womb, but is that the correct way to address that issue? I mean, like, it depends, right? It depends on, like, what the hospital is gonna do in terms of, like, with that information. Like, as long as they are private with that information and they don't, like, tell someone's family or tell their workplace or something like that, then that's fine, because you don't want to out that person as trans when they might not want to be. But yeah, like, from a health perspective, like, yeah, like, you get, a doctor's gonna need to know if you got, like, a pussy or a dick, right? You know? So, you know, personally, like, I'm not trans, so I can't, like, you know, speak for trans people on that specifically, but that's what I know. Pepe is the way forward in communism, actually. This is true. Saving Private Pepe, yes. Pepe's pro-trans. Yeah, literally, yeah. They also tried to take clowns from us. Not gonna lie, they can have clowns. They got enough clowns already. The less clowns on the left, the better, to be honest. But yeah.
Doctors have the right to conscientious objection and frequently use it. By law, every hospital is required to have someone doing the procedure, but in practice there are entire hospitals and regions where abortion is unavailable.
That fucking sucks.
People are forced to seek medical...
Yeah, they literally made a new Pepe because too many normies started using Pepe. Yeah, they started, they made the Groiper guy. I speak about this on my video. My video on, there were white supremacists in your Twitch chat. Funnily enough, we've had one in here today. You can check that out on my YouTube channel, which is in the socials command that I've just put in the chat.
Care in Slovenia and pay out of their own pockets for the procedure. Solidarity with everyone standing up for abortion rights.
Clowns only make me think of clown husbandry Tumblr. Gonna regret this, aren't I? What the fuck is this? What the fuck am I looking at? Clown husbandry questions. My clown 47M won't stop screaming at me 23M. I might be too youth. Okay, I got it. I can't read anymore because I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed on Tumblr. I don't have a fucking account. Hey Rosenkreutz, how you doing? Clown husbandry stunlock is a go. Please, this is not what you want to stunlock onto. I mean, you know, people should think about that before they type things into my Twitch chat, like clown husbandry Tumblr. Come on, let me just screenshot a thing. Let me just screenshot one thing. Right, let's have a read of this. Right, what? Hello. So recently I've been trying to find a smaller breed of clown to adopt. Seeing as I'm rather short at 5'2", I don't know if I could care for a larger breed well or properly. So I was hoping you could recommend some better suited breeds for my size. What's going on? What's happening here? What's going on? What does this mean? What is this? Explain yourself, Chaos Merlin. This is your fault. It's chat's fault. It is literally just one chatter. Literally just one chatter. Just Chaos Merlin. But yeah, it's chat's fault. Yeah. The right's attempt to appropriate clowns was actually pretty sad. They were calling everyone clowns while getting 7 likes on Twitter. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the honkler memes and shit. Yeah. Just talk about clowns and breeding. Oh, okay. So they're like clown fuckers. Right. Okay. Got you. Ancient Tumblr memes. How old is this stuff? How old is this stuff? There's no dates on these posts. It was a community that used clowns in place of an animal breed species as a meme. That's pretty funny. Pokemon, but with clowns. Strange Eons has a video on clown husbandry. Oh, fucking hell yeah. I fucking love Strange Eons. Yeah, we're watching that. We're watching that. Okay, we've only got a little bit to go. We've only got a little bit to go.
In Croatia. Big wins for healthcare coming from Mexico. The state of Baja California Sur has just legalized abortion before 12 weeks. It is the 9th state in Mexico to pass legislation to legalize abortion. The law in Baja California Sur passed with 16 votes in favor, 3 against, and 0 absent. The legislation also outlines that medical professionals must be available at all times to guarantee these services, and that healthcare personnel may not use conscientious objection when it would put the patient's life at risk or cause a disproportionate burden for patients. This green wave of pro-abortion legislation has been won after protests all over Mexico in support of abortion access. On Thursday, 26th of May, the Congress of Deputies in Spain approved an only yes is yes consent bill. This bill seeks to tackle the absence of codified definition of consent in Spanish law. The law had long relied on evidence of violence, resistance, or intimidation to determine whether a sexual assault had occurred. This reform
this is huge
as an explicit expression of a person's will, ensuring that survivors will no longer have to prove they have suffered violence or intimidation, or that they were physically restrained in order to show they have suffered a sexual assault. The change was celebrated by the Minister of Equality, Irene Montero. From today, Spain is a freer, safer country for all women, she told Parliament, and we'd editorialized to say, for all people. We're going to swap.
Fucking Spain is popping off. Like, is there ever like a better reason to just like go to Spain? You know, like the things that we've been hearing about Spain. There's a VOD that you can check out on the VOD channel, which talks about trans love stories and trans stories of joy from Spain. And there was another thing about queer rights in Spain as well recently. It's crazy to think we didn't have those laws and definition in place beforehand. Yeah, so crazy. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the patriarchy for you, you know? Also, hey, Helge Notorian, how you doing?
Swap violence for freedom, and we're going to swap fear for desire.
Nice.
Oh, this one's exciting. Gustavo Petro, a left-wing ex-guerrilla fighter with the M19 movement, won the presidential election in Colombia with 50.5%
We saw this.
of the
We
vote.
saw this on Democracy Now! Yep. Absolutely fucking huge.
In a country long held by the right and used as a staging ground for US regime change operations, Petro will be Colombia's first left-wing president, and not a minute too soon. He has promised profound social and economic change, including free university education and pension reforms. The Colombian left has seen its greatest electoral successes over 2022. In March, for instance, the Left Party Alliance won the most congressional seats of any party. These electoral wins follow several mobilizations, such as the general strikes in 2019.
And it's happening in the imperial periphery, you know?
In 2021, that stopped former President Ivan Duque's attempt to pass regressive consumer taxes and roll back taxes on corporations.
Lost Futures! Lost Futures! Oh my god, you've been in my chat before. What the fuck? This is so wild. We were literally talking about you last week. And you were like commenting on my fucking YouTube and shit. What the fuck? Hi, how you doing? What's going on? We were talking about you last week because FD mentioned you on his video. And you were commenting on my YouTube, and you left like a comment that I was like, do they know what this means? But obviously I won't bring it up with you now because it might be a bit embarrassing. But yeah, how you doing? Nothing to worry about, by the way. Nothing cancelable. But yeah, how you doing? What's going on? You've been editing some audio? Yeah, nice. What's going on? I bet Kissinger is foaming mad. God, I hope so, yeah. God, I fucking hope so.
Onwards and upwards, Colombia. Solidaridad. In 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. organized low-income Americans in a march on Washington known as the Poor People's Campaign. Over 50 years later, thousands of protesters gathered to deliver that same message at the Poor People's and Low-Wage Workers Assembly and Moral March on Washington.
Oh, let's fucking go!
The rally urged low-income voters to participate in the upcoming midterm elections and featured religious organizations, labor unions, and climate activists from across the country. As long as there are 140 million poor and low-income people in this country, and we know it doesn't have to be this way, we won't be silent anymore, said Reverend William Barber, co-chair of the Poor People's Campaign. Protesters rallied together for a broad range of issues: an end to poverty, voter suppression, systemic racism, environmental damage, and limited access to healthcare and education.
Right, don't start, Lyra. Don't start giving people an excuse to make jokes that are going to get them banned. Don't start doing it, you know what I mean? Come on.
First annual general meeting of 2022 for Shell Oil Company was disrupted by climate activists based. Groups including Extinction Rebellion chanted an update.
See, look, it's happening. It's literally happening. As soon as you did it, another person did it. Don't do it. Stop doing it.
Version of Queen's
Stop doing it. I'm gonna start banning people as soon as start people saying like, oh, I hope he kills himself. Oh, I hope he fucking explodes. I'm just gonna fucking ban you. Just gonna do it. Because you're gonna get me banned. Don't fuck with me. You know I don't fuck around with this shit.
chairman's address. A verse from the updated lyrics went, "Block your oil from all over the land, singing, we will stop you." Late last month, heads of government from the North Sea countries, Germany, Denmark, Netherlands, and Belgium, met in Esbjerg to sign an agreement on developing offshore wind and green hydrogen energy plants. These facilities aim to generate 65 gigawatts by 2030 and 150 gigawatts by 2050. With this new offshore wind energy initiative, the North Sea countries aim to become the green power plant of Europe. This project is estimated to cost a total of 135 billion euro, which is only a fraction of the 800 billion euro the European Commission noted was necessary to reach the 2050 goal. Comrades, that's it for all the Positive Leftist news today.
Hell yeah, let's fucking
get a hot tea to help with my throat. But first, if you have good news from the current month, please send your stories to totalliberationpodcast@gmail.com. A huge thank you to Javi for the Positive News Jams. Thank you to Cosmo for the Positive News background, Mexi for production and script writing with help from Catherine and Ash, and thank you to JC for editing this video. And thanks to me, I guess, for doing all the talking. We're hoping to expand our team and therefore our Patreon, so if you'd like to support the show, please...
Why do captions appear behind in-video links? Come the fuck on, YouTube.
Go to patreon.com/positiveleftistnews, or you can give us a one-time tip or donation. The link is in the description box below.
Gang, you know what to do. What the fuck is that? What am I doing? You know what to do. Go and follow Positive Leftist News. Subscribe. Like the video. Give it a fucking sub. Whatever. Go on their Patreon. Give them money. All that kind of stuff. Right, listen, gang. We're not watching the fucking Strange Eons video, right? Because it's just too much of a stun lock. Right? I'm putting on... Oh my god, I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna sneeze. Right, it's not working. Oh. I always think I'm just skating by, but that's silly. I shouldn't be doing it. I shouldn't be trying to skirt the terms of service like that. It's ultimately pointless and unhelpful. Yes. Yes. Thank you for being honest. Because I know when you're doing it. I know when people are doing it. I'm not fucking stupid. Do you know what I mean? So, and all that you're going to achieve by doing that is upsetting me. You're going to piss me off, and I'm going to get mad and stressed. Because I don't want to ban chatters for stuff like that, right? I don't want to do it. Because I don't think you're, like, bad people, innit? You know what I mean? It's like, I just want you to just fucking chill. Don't blame Lyra. I did this oopsie on my own. Yes, you did. Yes, you absolutely did. But that's okay. Don't worry. Like, you've apologized. Don't worry about it. Like, it's fine. Like, as long as you apologize and you know it's all right, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to think you're a dickhead. It's when you start being like, well, I was just saying, blah, 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 blah. That's when you're a dickhead. You know? Yeah, so I've linked the video in the chat. Like, go and sub and shit like that. And, you know, all that noise. And we're not going to watch the Strange Eons video. We're going to watch John the Duncan's video, because that's what I said we were going to watch. And that's what we are going to watch. I'm not getting fucking stun locked. I'm not doing it. You know? You all did a very good job of trying to stun lock me with clown husbandry. But we'll watch that after. Because that's a bit of candy to watch. You know what I mean? Like, we could either watch the Backrooms or we could watch clown husbandry. And I guess I'll decide in a bit when we're done with the John the Duncan video. So, here it is. John's made a new video, and he was telling us about this when we were hanging out in London after London Pride. And I don't know how much I can tell you about the behind-the-scenes stuff, but I'm not going to mention it just in case. I don't want to get John in trouble or anything, but a very interesting thing happened during the, you know, the recording of this video. So, without further ado, we are going to check out his video on the Adam Ruins Everything guy, featuring Adam Conover. John ruins the Adam Ruins Everything guy. That's what we're watching. Let me just make a cool, funny title. John ruins, Adam ruins, Obama ruins, Iran, or Russia, I guess would be a funnier one. Russia ruins, and then it'll go off the screen like that. I don't know what kind of content warnings that we're gonna have here, but knowing John's kind of content, there's gonna be like discussions of neoliberalism. So you know, all the nasty shit that comes with that, I guess. Let's dive right in, chat. Spudum. There we are. Here we are. Muel ruins, John ruins, Adam ruins everything. Oh, okay. That's actually a lot funnier. That's actually a lot fucking funnier. Hold up. Let me get it done. Let me get it done. Muel ruins, John ruins, Adam ruins everything. That's very funny, Lyra. I appreciate that. Look at that. That's real chat participation. Yeah, Admiral Dynamic, I'm just going to ban you because, like, I don't know, like, if you think you're being, like, a funny fucker coming into a stream with just, like, a Wikipedia page about bacteria or whatever. Like, I don't care. No one in chat cares. Like, maybe think about interacting with the chat in, like, a normal way. And if you feel like this is an unfair ban, then just, like, apologize and we can try again and I'll give you an unban. But, like, that's rancid vibes. Straight off the bat. For a first chat message. So see you later. Neoliberalism, propaganda, mention of the meat industry and military. Okay, so let's talk about the meat industry. That's a good one. Yeah, mostly neolibs and Obama. Military, okay. Yeah, maybe don't dump a pasta in the chat right away. Yeah, maybe just don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not... Like, this isn't a fucking German stream. There aren't, like, 10,000 people here. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it would be funny if you did it like that, but, like, this is a chat where, like, I actually interact with the chat because there's enough... You know, there's not as many people in here. And I can actually do that, you know? What was that even in reference to? I wouldn't worry about it. I genuinely wouldn't worry about it. It doesn't even seem like anything. Like, the guy's profile picture is like that Leo, what's his face? Leonardo da Vinci meme. You know, the Keck Leo face? Like, literally Keck Leo. Like, literally that. Like, that's the guy's profile picture. So it's like, I guess it's just like a 12-year-old that thinks they're doing a funny meme. You know? I feel like I was going to do something else then as well. That's right. Thank you for the reminder, Mulebot. You can see there that Mulebot is saying, hey, did you know that DJ streams full time and this is his main source of income at the moment? If you like what you're watching, you've laughed, had fun, or learned something, please consider donating to his PayPal to help him pay his bills, eat, and take himself out on dates. That's right. But I have a partner now since I made that, so I can actually take them out on dates as well. But if you could financially support the stream, I would ask you to consider doing that off Twitch. I would ask you to consider, you know, subbing off Twitch because we don't like Twitch. They're a bad fucking platform for marginalized people. So they don't really listen to what marginalized people want for the platform. All they really care about are the big fucking 10 white boy streamers who make them a lot of fucking money. And all the policy and decision making happens with reference to them. So we're making a bit of a statement in taking some money away from Twitch. It also means that 100% of the money that you spend on the stream will go to me, your boy, rather than 50% going to Amazon. And of course, if you do want to subscribe, if you do want to give bits, that's up to you. I'm not going to fucking judge you. If you don't want to see the ads and shit like that, that's fair enough. But what I would say is that perhaps you could, instead of subscribing to a bunch of streamers every month, in order to not see ads on their channel, just get Twitch Nitro instead. It's like £10 a month, so it's like the price of 2 subs to a channel of your choice, and you don't see any ads. So you could get that instead. Monsieur Squirrel says, aren't Twitch an Amazon company too? Yes, but I guess that's not really like the main reason that I would say don't subscribe, because Twitch are like a subsidiary of Amazon. They aren't actually like ran by Amazon. Of course, like Amazon wants to see like money for the shareholders and shit like that. So yeah, there is that level of you know, fuckery along with it. But you could also argue that like PayPal is bad, you know. I was gonna say I have Turbo. Is that bad? I mean, look, you can have as many fucking subs on this platform as you like. I'm not gonna fucking judge you. It's your money. You do what you want with it. We're all conditioned to spend our money in a way that capitalism benefits from it and it exploits people and shit like that. So like, there's no point in wasting your time beating yourself up because like, oh my god, I've got Twitch Turbo. Like, oh my god, I've got like 10 different subs in 10 different channels. Like, don't worry about it. I'm just asking you to think about it. And if you do want to, you know, support me, I would just prefer that you send it to my PayPal, right? Just consider it, you know? Don't beat yourself up over it. No one's going to win anything if you do that. Next thing you're going to say is Twitter is bad. I know, yeah, imagine such a statement. Or you could give me more money on Patreon. You could support me on Patreon. Yeah, the cut on Patreon is very good. Yes. The cut on Patreon is also very good, yeah. But anyway, we're cracking on with John the Duncan. Oh, and don't forget, chat. Don't forget. Please go and support our John. He is a lovely guy. Give a like of the video, run the video in a muted tab alongside the stream. Give him a like, give him a sub, give him some money on Patreon, whatever you want to fucking do. Support our boy. He's an absolute boy. Let's watch the fucking thing. Let's watch it.
With Adam Conover. I heard Adam Ruins Everything was alright. I heard Adam's a good egg. That might be alright. Got good recommendation for the dropout folks. That might as well be it.
A comedy show about the United States government, starring me, produced by you.
On its best days, our government is a tool that we can use together to build that better world for ourselves and each other.
I have concerns. What the fuck was that? What was it? What was it? There was just swell guys. Why is Obama producing this show? Government versus small government. Just swell guy after swell guy. It's insane to me that there was nobody. What is going on with the GPS?
This is how I feel when I watch Adam Ruins Everything. I've got to be honest with you, gang. Adam Ruins Everything is one of those shows that people would just like recommend to me non-stop, and you know what happens with me when people recommend me stuff? I just do not watch it. I simply do not watch it. So you know, that's that.
Why is no one freaking out about that? Freaking out of my head.
So I've never watched it.
One of the
I don't know what it's like.
Things I've seen in a while, and I don't quite know how to make of it. Fucking swell. Why are there so many swell guys?
Oh, that looks so refreshing, actually. That looks like so fucking refreshing. Just like I don't drink, but just like a gin and lemonade with ice in it, and it sounds really nice, you know, like the ice sound. Oh god, it's so fucking hot under these lights, chat. You've got no fucking idea. I know that yous are hot right now, but this is it's fucking stupid me sat here, like, under these lights. I can't even begin to tell you.
Okay, got that out of my system.
It's John Oliver for internet consumers. Yeah, but John Oliver is like good. John Oliver's like pretty good. And like a lot of people on the internet watch John Oliver. That doesn't make sense at all. Gin and juice, yeah. I have ice in all my cold drinks. I don't drink otherwise. It was 32 degrees at work for the full 8 hours. What happens if you turn them off? I'll show you. Good this, innit? Oh, I forgot one. Yeah, good this, innit?
This is a bad show.
Oh, it's very cold.
I think this is a bad show. It's a bad show, and as much as I want to and I could do this, spend
this
40
fucking
minutes in
rocks.
sort of free form ranting at camera about the various bits and pieces that annoy me, like a sort of free flow pissed off jazz piece. I could do this, but instead I'm going to try and force something productive out of this, something that's worth talking about. First, I'm going to pick out some themes which are immediately apparent to me in the
Camera's a very interesting chat. I've learned a lot about cameras in my years as a videographer, but yeah, like this camera is at a fucking an aperture and a frame rate and shit like that where it's basically like if there's no lights in the room, there's no way it'll capture anything. But I could turn up the aperture, I could widen the aperture, and it would actually capture me in low light. But it would literally be just a very low quality stream. So, you know, you've got to make some sacrifices. True ghost stream, that's right, yeah. Muel in the void. I can get behind this. Night mode Muel. Adam started more specifically with the internet. He still takes certain structural powers to task. Doesn't diagnose capital as the problem or go far enough. Oh, sure, yeah. In that way, he's like John Oliver. Okay, yeah, I can get behind that. Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. Yeah. I need an umbrella. It's bad luck to open an umbrella inside, isn't it?
Show some things that immediately...
Yeah, you know the score, Quill. Yeah, it would be grainy as fuck, yeah.
Well, problematic. You know, its relationship to propaganda.
My comfort matters. Listen, I'm only live for 4 hours. Don't fucking worry about it. Got like an hour and a half left. I can do this. I've done it before. I'll do it again. I just need to get some fucking ice in, you know?
Propose solutions to its political problems and murderous imperialism. Next, we're going to look at the show as a whole through the lens of some Marxist theories of the state. Because although Adam talks about the G word in this show, what he's really talking about is the capitalist state. And you know I'm not going to let you get away with coming to a video of mine without any theory. Come on, you nerds, get a grip.
You're not inside, Muel. You're at the tip. There's a roof you can't see. There's a roof just above me. That's what it is. A small one that covers your head. Yeah, because I really like don't look like enough of a dickhead. Yeah. Get yourself some silicone ice trays for whiskey glasses and thank me later. Yes. The G word is the government. The G word is the government. That's what Adam Ruins Everything is talking about. Adam ruins everything, the G word or whatever. I don't fucking know.
In my view, liberal propaganda. And we can't talk about the show with any honesty without first talking about the fact that it's produced by my friend and yours, Barack Hussein Obama. And Adam clearly agrees with me here because this is how the show begins. Him and Obama mulling it out as old pals. So in the opening skit, which starts with Obama having...
This is so fucking ridiculous. This is so ridiculous, yeah. I'm just gonna literally like chill out with like a war criminal. I'm just gonna like, you know, hang out with Obama. Oh God.
Trouble with his taxes. Silly goose.
You're producing the show. People are gonna think it's pro-government propaganda.
But our friend Obama, he disagrees. This shows...
Muel, open a P.O. box so we can send a propeller hat. Pay me more money. Do you know how much P.O. boxes cost? Pay me more money. Sub off Twitch. Right there. You want a P.O. box? Give me more money. Give me more money. There you go. It could be a monthly dono goal.
Not about pro-government, big government propaganda. It's about showing
the government is a tool we can all use.
He won't tell Adam what to write. He can talk about whatever he wants.
Make the show you want to make.
Everyone sub off Twitch. We could get him a PO box. How much do PO boxes cost? Okay, all right. PO box, Manchester. This is already confusing. This is already really confusing. Like, what the fuck? Mailbox rental address. Mailbox services. What's the one that people do? Royal Mail PO Box. Let me have a look. An option that best suits you. PO Box PO Box Collect. I would want to collect it, innit? Wait, what's a transfer? The delivery office collect them at your convenience. PO Box Collect. Monthly, 36 quid. £36 a month. Fucking hell. £36 a month. I have a propeller hat. No one is allowed to touch it but me, and I will defend it viciously. Hey Cheyenne, how you doing? What's going on? Her Majesty's Royal Post Office box. There's a scene in Homestuck where the ghost of Obama built a robot body for one of the main characters. He might be working with a villain of that arc, though. Oh my god.
I've got expenses to report.
And now the astute amongst you, which I'm sure is all of you, because if you're here, you're astute. Look at you all there. You wee astute wee things. If you're astute, you'll notice a small detail that people telling you what to write and having total...
I'd have to collect it all and see what it is, yeah.
Control over what you write. That's not how propaganda works. At all. Not in capitalism anyway. Not in modern capitalism, not in journalism, and not in this show. Like, not to drag Chomsky in here too early, but one of the key features of manufacturing consent is that journalists mostly aren't told what to write. They have their jobs because what they write is consistent with the economic and ideological needs of the corporation and the state, of course. And I'm not saying that Adam is necessarily a journalist here, but his reasoning is exactly in line with the reasoning that journalists who are accused of producing propaganda take. So take a look at this classic Chomsky clip.
How can you know that I'm self-censoring? How can you know that journalists are self-censoring?
I'm sure you believe everything you're saying. But what I'm saying is if you believe something different, you wouldn't be sitting where you're sitting.
You read that book, did you, Vaughn? I would have never have guessed. I would have never have guessed. With your, like, multiple mentions of, read manufacturing consent, everybody. I think you've mentioned it over, like, the last 5 streams. Don't stop mentioning it, by the way.
A classic Chomsky. And so it is with Adam here. The fact that Obama is producing the show doesn't necessarily mean that Adam's being told what to write, and I fully believe that he wasn't being told what to write. But it does mean that what's written
is echoing, chat?
Going to challenge
is the stream echoing?
Obama's ideological or economic interests, which, after all, are the ideological and economic interests of the state. He was the fucking president. Come on. Like, is this the sort of, like, level that we're working on? That, like, the president can be like, oh, you write whatever you want and we won't...
Sounds fine. Okay, good.
This is quite clearly bound to be propaganda. I'm becoming agitated.
Okay, look. I'm as skeptical as you are.
No, I don't believe that to be the case, Adam. You know what, let's just ask him.
I guess a good place to just start is at the beginning.
Oh my god, he literally got him on the show. He literally got in the video. Phenomenal.
Of the show, because I think that's something that I noticed, and something that seems to be at the forefront of the show is the worry that the show is in some sense propaganda. Because you talk about that over with producer of the show, Barack Obama, and and like, well, is this propaganda? And Obama says to you in the show, you can talk.
Look at poor John, he's sweating his fucking tits off. It's so warm at the minute, and you've got fucking Adam Conover in his fucking aircon house paid for by Obama. Obama literally bought him a house to fucking do this video or some shit. I don't fucking know. Oh, hi, Shafiq. Yeah, we did miss you. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I know literally what chat is thinking all the time, you know. Poor John, it's way too hot for a good comrade. I agree.
Talk about whatever you wanted. I just wanted to talk, how did you think that sort of influenced, or did you think that sort of influenced the construction of your show? Because I will talk about a bit about propaganda in a second.
Absolutely, it influenced the production of the show. I mean, it's woven into the fabric of it. And that scene, you know, I wrote and shot with the former president in order to try to, first of all, be transparent with the audience about the conditions under which the show were produced, and try to be transparent about the area that we tried to carve out for ourselves, you know, the area of inquiry and like space that we had. So look, the foundation of the show is clearly compromised, right? I knew that it was going in. It's like, it's part of the conditions that are, unfortunately, as someone working in mass entertainment, I don't have the luxury of making a piece of uncompromised content. And I would argue almost nobody does. You know, all I can do is try to carve out space of editorial independence for myself where I get to say everything that I want to say to the extent that I can. And two, I try to be transparent about it with the audience. You know, I felt that there's a conflict at the core of it, but that I needed to approach it in much the same way, to try to be clear about it with the audience, to try to make sure that I can go to bed at night not feeling that the show has been unduly influenced, and by trying to pick fights that will do my best to disrupt that influence, right?
I mean, if that is what he wants, then he's sold out, right? Like, if he truly does not want the show to be liberal propaganda, but the show is forcing him to make propaganda, but he's like, oh, well, I don't want to pick any fights, then he's sold out, right? It sounds like excuses. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Shafiq. I shall hydrate, yes.
Not to play nice with it, but to try to, like, you know, pick some fights in which I'm going to go to the mattresses really hard in order to grapple with it.
Ow, that's my foot, you wanker. The cat is deciding to grab my foot with his claws at this moment because he's a dick. It is interesting to me that Adam accepts that the foundations of the show are compromised, but I don't think that really makes it defensible to know.
Shall I phone a HVAC Pro? EnviroCool HVAC services, domestic air conditioning. There's numbers here that I can like ring. Shall I ring and get a quote live on stream for how much it's going to cost me to get air conditioning in this flat? Because I reckon it's going to cost about 10 grand. It has to be, right? It has to be. Excuse me. Might as well get a quote. Domestic air conditioning units are super conservative in bedrooms. 2 areas tend to be too hot in summer and too cool in winter. All my flat. They'll ask you for dimensions of the space. Yeah, I don't have that to hand. Like, I don't like own this. I don't own this flat. I don't have the fucking I don't have the floor plan. You know? Give Muel all the money so he doesn't die from climate change. That's right. Protect me and me alone. You got it, Prince. Would they pick up at this hour? Probably not. The office might be closed given it's 10 p.m. Oh my god, it's 20 past 10. I thought it was like 7 o'clock or something. You're right. Standalone AC unit can be got for 200 to 400 quid if I remember correctly. No, you're kidding. They're Scottish prices, them. That's fucking Scotland prices. Like I was looking at rent in Scotland in like Glasgow, and it was like fucking brilliant compared to Manchester. Let me just Google how much would aircon cost Manchester? And also it's how much it costs to run. Because you basically then, when you've not... See, that's the thing. Never in the British's lives, never in a Brit's life, right? If we had to consider something like an air conditioning unit. Because, like, normally, in summer, you just have low energy bills, right? Because everything's warm. You don't need to put lights on because the days are fucking longer and shit. But now it's like our buildings are not built for this intense heat. Like, they're just not. So it's like, what do we do? You know, and if you buy like an air conditioning unit, that's basically just like having radiators. It's just like having opposite radiators in it. And you're going to be paying for that. Like, how much does it cost to run? How much does an AC cost in the UK? Air conditioning systems start at 250 quid for a portable unit with no installation costs. Split air conditioning systems start around 300 for the materials for a single room unit to up to 1,500 per room for a multi-split air conditioning system and up to 2,000. Fuck that. Fucking fuck that. A window or portable unit shouldn't be too bad. A whole house unit will be 5k plus. Yeah, exactly. I've got like three main rooms here, you know? How hot is it at night? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. You live right below the roof. It's fucking hell. Yeah, because you will probably have the same thing that people in Britain have, which is loft cavity insulation, right? So the heat enters into the bottom of the gaff in the morning and then rises at night and can't escape because there's fucking insulation in the roof. Also, hi, Emily Carlson. Welcome to the stream. It's so hot my phone overheated and closed Twitch. That's wild. I've never fucking had that happen apart from when I've been in a sauna. That's actually wild that it's that hot where you are, Chaos. You're under the fucking loft insulation? Yeah, it fucking sucks. In Canada, most new homes are built with central AC. That's scary as fuck. That's scary as fuck. They're building houses to be like climate change resistant. Grew up in Florida. If you don't have AC in the Hummer in the summer there, you just die. Yeah. Or spend a lot of your time being bored in the mall. Bored in the mall. Yeah. You live in a cellar? That's pretty cool. I think I'd like to live in a cellar.
Know that the foundations of the show are compromised?
Switzerland's getting pretty bad, yeah.
You can always just not make something if you know it's compromised.
Yeah, literally, he's right. He's fucking right. This is what we said.
And I think this sort of, we'll return to this because I think it gets into his theory of, well, how action happens as well, and how he interacts with propaganda. But we might return to that later on. I can't remember because I'm reading the script right now and I can't remember what I've written yet. We'll see. And by the way, that full interview is online right now for patrons and will be available for everyone else in a couple of weeks.
Swell, guys.
So the other thing that this first interaction with Obama sets up in the show...
What will you do to survive? No, it's not that much of a pressing issue, honestly. Like, it's... Like, right now, it's fine. To be honest, the main mistake that I made this weekend was baking bread. Like, I turned on the oven and I made bread. And so, like, a lot of heat just, like, appeared within the house. Like, my house does, like, a good job of keeping heat out. But once heat gets in the house, you can't get it out again, essentially. You spent more time in the supermarket hanging around the fridges recently? Yeah. See, like, going outside and sitting in the shade is like cooler than it is in most houses in the UK. It's just the humidity in it. It's just the humidity. It's fine for now, but I know it's going to get worse over the next few weeks. You know. It's there's nothing I can do about the state of the show. And like, yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like, you could just like not make the show.
Is that it seems to be a vehicle for showing off an array of just swell guys,
I've got a fan,
guys, just a bunch of swell guys in governments doing their swell guy stuff and being swell along the way. Government, that's just a bunch of swell guys doing swell guy stuff and doing their best to be swell. And Obama is the first and maybe the swellest of them all. But you see these swell guys in the abattoir.
The reason I do this is because I'm interested in public health. These are just some of the cows that are going to slaughter today.
God, this is horrifying. To the swell guys in the FDIC, to the swell guys in the Air Force.
Uh-huh.
This cat, man. Ah, fuck me. Jesus, puss. Why are you doing this? Fucking filming in the living room. Wanker. And we'll return to the swell guys in the military in a moment. Don't you dare fucking get on that, please. Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
I can't believe he just threw that cat.
And we'll return to the swell guys in the military in a brief moment. And the purpose of all these swell guys is, to me, so deeply ideological.
He just wanted attention from his dad.
Like the argument is made that it's about showing the people.
Classic cat. All the cat owners in the chat are like, yep, classic cat, yep.
In government and what they do and how they work, and if they work to help you or hurt you in certain ways.
And no matter what you think of the meat industry, I think you have to be happy that at every meat factory in America, there are inspectors on the line who work not for the company, but for us, with our best interests at heart.
Cats are
But
known
they don't
dickheads,
work for
yeah.
us, do they? They work for the state. And this idea that they work for us is hugely, hugely ideological.
Uh-huh.
And you can make the argument that they should work for us, but that's, again, hugely ideological. And that sort of working for us, the idea that the state works for us, is something we'll get into deeper later, but is something that permeates throughout the whole show. And what these swell guys end up really doing is obscuring the nature of the capitalist state and forcing us into viewing structures of the state as being determined by good or bad human activity within it. It's abstracted away from the real issues. And interviewing this guy from the US FDA really
Okay, so I don't know. You know how I said, like, I've heard about some of the stuff pertaining to this video behind the scenes. Like, I don't think I can get John in trouble for saying this, or I don't think I could get anyone in trouble, because I just heard it on the grapevine, right? But I heard it on the grapevine that John was tweeting about making this video, and Adam Conover was shitting himself and pissing and crying about it. And so he kind of forced his way into this video to, like, say these things. So that's what I heard. Now, that might be wrong, but apparently that was, like, a thing that happened. That's what I heard. I heard someone talking about it. It didn't come from John. I know that much. But I heard someone talking about this, that this is actually what happened.
shows us the problem with this show.
So I just find it funny that he's, like, on here trying to defend himself in this show that, like, yeah, makes a lot of apologies for the meat industry, makes a lot of apologies for, neoliberal capital, and shit like that, you know? Yeah, huge oof if true. Huge oof if true, yeah.
Human element serves to obscure.
There's a whole interview coming out later? Okay, yeah. There you go, then.
And, like, you talk to guys being like, oh, I have a sense of duty, a sense of care for everyone in the country, or the vet for what is an immense and utterly disgusting slaughterhouse, and you focus on them seeming swell or caring about us and their job being there to care about us, to work for us. And suddenly the immense and environmentally destructive, morally catastrophic slaughterhouse seems a little bit less bad. It seems like, oh, there's maybe something there to make sure it's not really that bad.
M9300. Oh my god, it's you again. Do you think I'm fucking stupid, dude? It's just literally you with, like, a new account, that M94 fucking 1000 guy. Dude, I don't give a fuck about your stupid debate bro friends. I don't give a fuck about your conspiracy left idiot friends. Fuck off. Jimmy Dore is a fucking cunt, and so are you. Plus I'm shagging your dad, plus L, plus ratio, plus you can't chat in the Twitch chat anymore.
And to be fair, Adam does say that the meat industry is environment.
That guy is literally a guy that was in my chat, like, fucking 3 fucking months ago or something like that, being like so excited that Jackson Hinkle won a debate against Sam Seder. Just absurd, insane people. Like, fuck off. Like, just fuck off. It's Jimmy himself. I wouldn't be surprised. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised he's that much of a fucking loser. You know. Yeah, Jimmy Dore sucks. Yeah. Extremely sad as fuck. That dude called Jimmy Dore leftist. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, Jimmy fucking Dore. Yeah. Oh, god damn it.
Mentally terrible, and that the cows don't look happy with it. And, you know, he told me himself that he personally...
I love this shit so much. The comment is so fucking funny. Since this is a left-wing stream, I highly recommend Jimmy Dore's content. Good stuff. Really tears the establishment a new one. What? The establishment of vaccines make you gay and you shouldn't take vaccines? You know what I mean? Like, what? That's how you tear into the establishment? Like the establishment that doesn't give a fuck about people who've got COVID-19? You fucking floppy wet melon. Shut the fuck up. Why was Sam even debating Jackson? Sam Seder is the only good debate, bro. Literally, he's the only good one. You know. Dole leftists are like worse than the worst trots, yeah, for sure. Any establishment terrors in chat? Yeah, that's right, Snick Knob. How you doing?
Found that a very disturbing experience.
Look, I'm someone who thinks that factory farming is a cruel abomination, right? That should...
Wait, is that his real name or is it a joke one? What, Jimmy Dore? I don't fucking know.
Ended.
But with the human...
But it is funny that you think it's like... But it is funny that you think it's a fake name because it is like, who would call themselves Jimmy Dore? Like... And if you are called Jimmy Dore, why wouldn't you make a new name?
The social forces at work which perpetuate this whole thing, which are producing this horror, are somewhat muted, and instead we're invited to think, oh, well, they seem really swell, really, and it's good that they've got people working for us who care about us from the state there to look after us. It's good that they care about us, which is again a deeply and hugely ideological.
Yeah, Jimmy Dore's thing is pretending he used to be a leftist and stopped because the left got too radical. Yeah, literally. You know how I know that guy is the same guy that we banned 3 months ago as well? Because like I said, the guy's name was like M9000, right? And this guy's account is M9300, right? So I don't know what the M9000 thing is all about. It's probably some fucking fascist nonsense, some red-brown dog shit. But like also like that guy was trying to promote Jackson Hinkle's stuff, like just shamelessly cooking themselves for, you know, people who don't even know they exist. Like, please watch Jackson Hinkle's stream. It's really good. I'm so glad that Jackson Hinkle won a debate last night. And this guy's like, yo, Jimmy Dore really tears into the establishment. Like, and also, if this is like a troll that Jimmy Dore's paying to try and get more people to watch his content, yo, get another job, dude. Like, get another job. Like, you're shit at this one. Like, absolute dog shit. And he's obviously not paying you anymore. Or good. I don't know. Bit weird. Hey, Kasona Fun, how you doing? What's going on? Go show some love to Kasona Fun, everybody. An actual leftist who actually tears into the establishment. I want to believe he got banned 299 times in between. Yeah, me too. Me too.
Thing to be invited to think. But we also start, as Adam does throughout, asking humanizing questions of the state. Does the state care about us? Isn't the state supposed to protect us?
Does the government care about our health? Are inspectors on the
That's right, Helgina, yeah.
Not for the company.
Based as fuck.
Us, with our best interest at heart. So maybe the government does care about our health? Americans are being hurt or killed by the same criminal justice system that's supposed to be protecting us.
Maybe this guy thought that Dore was a safe space because you titled the stream Muel Ruins, John Ruins, Adam Ruins, and he thought it was an epic dunk debate compilation. That's probably what it is, yeah. Adam, they have to pay for healthcare? What are you talking about? Yep, that's right. Oh shit, sorry Shafiq, you are here. Yeah, sorry. Listen, I've had literally no mods for like the last week, so I'm sorry. I totally forgot. You're here to do shout outs. I will try and remember, Shafiq, yeah. Sorry about that, love. Yeah.
It's kind of the same way. How can it care for us if we don't care for it?
And the very worst example of these swell guys and the sort of questions that they invite us to ask isn't actually Obama, although that is less than ideal. But it's when Adam goes to the US military base and talks to the military personnel who run GPS satellites, which gets us to... So in episode 4, Adam begins with a history of GPS, highlighting how while the technology emerged from the Cold War, it's now a massive public good that was funded by the state and upon which trillions of dollars of industry rest.
GPS has generated over $1.4 trillion for American businesses.
That can't be real, right? That's like a Tim and Eric sketch. That can't be from the show. That is literally like a Tim and Eric sketch. Watch this. Watch this shit again.
Generated over...
Upon which trillions of dollars of industry rest.
GPS has generated over $1.4 trillion for American businesses.
What the fuck, dude? Okay, that's got to be a new emote right there. That's got to be a new fucking emote right there. Oh my god. The camera angle, the delivery. Like, look, they've had someone in to do his hair. He's got makeup on. Like, yeah, he looks like he's trying to act like an evil businessman. How is this guy real? He's from another planet. Sounds like a weird German joke advert, right? That's what I mean. It's like a Tim and Eric sketch, you know?
And we will return to this notion of the state's employment with the economy later on, because it's, again, another very important ideological question that's kind of smuggled in there. But for now, what's important is that Adam lays out just how deeply essential GPS is to the functioning of society, how it's a global good upon which we're all massively dependent in our everyday lives, and not just those in America, but those across the world.
I mean, this amazing utility that has transformed our lives only cost...
He's an actor, you've seen him in things? Yeah, I believe it.
DoD 0.2% of its yearly budget to maintain. Even a minor glitch wouldn't just send me back to MapQuest printouts. It could seriously disrupt our entire society.
And with that benevolent glow, we go to meet the US Army personnel who control it.
So, who's in charge of making sure this vital system stays on course?
Let's go and celebrate our boys in blue. You know? Hey, Orange, what's going on? Rob Hubel, comedy actor. Is he literally? Rob Hubel? Oh my god, it is actually him. It is actually him. Why did they get him to do that? Or is that like a clip that he's used, that John's used from like another from like another show or something? You're right, Orange. Yeah.
Hey, Adam.
Oh, hi.
Where we send the commands, how we command these satellites, that's where I'm showing you.
That is...
Yeah, it feels like a clip that John's inserted. Yeah, I was gonna say, there's no way that guy's real. There's no way. Right, what is going on with these fucking... What is going on with these fucking... Command these satellites, that's where I'm showing you. That is so cool, yeah. Okay, I think that's where they go. Right, I think the subtitles are fixed now. They were being weird for a bit. But I'm going to put them up there, chat. Because they're getting in the way. Like, for some reason, John has, like, included the subtitles of the Netflix thing here. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My god, this is horrible.
Okay, what is going on?
This is bone-chilling. This is blood-curdling, right? This is deeply, deeply disturbing stuff that the US military, 10 people, these 10 people control this essential service for the world. These 10 people in the US military. Like this isn't cute. This isn't a cute thing. This is bone-chillingly terrifying. Not just that the US does it, but it's the US Army.
How old are you?
20 years old.
Okay.
The guy being 20 is not the issue here.
Also, that guy who's 20 is clearly just like joining the military to pay for college. Like, that's a huge thing in the US. That's a huge reason why the Biden administration really doesn't want to walk back student debt and shit like that. Because it's like, no. The more kids are in debt, the more chance we have of them joining the military and maintaining imperialist hegemony across the world, you know?
The issue is that...
or to escape poverty. Yeah, that's right, Cherry. Yeah, absolutely.
According to this show, these 10 people in the US military control the essential functionings for the daily lives of billions of people worldwide. That is an immense and bone-chilling degree of power for the US, the global hegemon, to hold. Like, that's an immense and terrifying amount of power, right? But this whole...
If you've not been watching John and you're liking the video, go and subscribe to John the Duncan. The link is there in the chat. Please go and subscribe, like, comment, share, have the video running in the background on mute. Very, very good content creator. We love John. He's a proper top guy.
This whole section is just framed in very, like a cutesy, like a curiosity.
Yeah.
Almost, this whole section. To be fair to Adam, he does ask the question, kind of.
I wouldn't have been surprised, the government's in charge of it, but I would have thought, NASA, NOAA, one of those other agencies. Why the military for GPS?
But notice how it's still... Like, he questions that it's the US military that has this power.
John's tweet is what brought me here. Oh, nice one, John. Thanks for tweeting it out. Appreciate you. I don't know if you're lurking, if you're watching or anything like that, but yeah, appreciate you.
The US itself having this power isn't in question. It's just which part of the US state is responsible. But what I think worse is how this...
So really the entire world gets to benefit from these 10 operators that are doing this mission on a daily basis. And so it's an added benefit for the entire globe.
That gets left unquestioned. Yes, let us lowly citizens of the world bow down before the benevolence of the US military, before the benevolence of the US state. Find me a boot, for it must be licked.
Oh, don't do it, dude. That's a nasty boot.
I'm not going to lick this. I'm not going to lick the boot. So when I asked Adam about this, he said he wanted people to be chilled by it. While, he did say that he thought that...
Will they go next door and meet the 50+ people monitoring armed drones? Right, exactly.
US government agency should still be in control. He wanted people to be chilled by it. And he wanted people to contrast this more light-hearted tone with the more dark tone of the following section, which we'll get to in a second.
Oh, he does. Oh, he actually does. Oh, this is a thing that happens.
The GPS thing. I'm glad that you were chilled by the segment in the GPS in there. I was also a little chilled being in there. That's kind of the fucking point, was to present that contrast between those things.
Look at John. John is struggling so hard with this guy, like, who's trying to, like, justify what he did. It's like, yeah, I presented that to be chilling. It's like, no, dude, you might have tried to present it to be chilling, but actually, it's because you just, let Barack Obama produce the show or whatever. I don't fucking know. That it doesn't come across that way. It really doesn't come across that way. If you were presenting it and you truly believe that you were presenting it and giving you, like, the best charitable read that we can, that you actually did a good job presenting it to present it as chilling and scary and shit, then the editing has done you a disservice and the production has done you a disservice. He is on edge. He's completely on edge because he knows he's fucking sold out. That's what it is. Tak to Yuka. I'm a bit creeped out about how comfortable and affable the soldiers are on camera. Well, I mean, it's like, they're going to be presenting it to be like that. So they're like normal guys, just like you and me, who are just doing a job. And that's what it is. It's one of them, isn't it? Adam has never talked to a liberal in his life if he thinks this will scare any of them. That's so true. John is showing remarkable patience and grace here. Yeah, remarkable. Remarkable patience and grace. I agree. I agree. Like, do you know what this feels like? Do you know what this feels like? It feels like Adam Conover, like said, stop calling me out on social media and debate me, you coward. And John was like, okay, I'll debate you. Apparently Reddit hates this video. Yeah, of course it does. Reddit fucking sucks.
That the military does.
But I find that just
they do get training on being on camera for PR. They do. They legit do. Yeah.
Quite unconvincing, to be honest, because given the structure of the episodes and all the episodes, really, what happens is you have like the government does a good thing versus the government does a bad thing, or does a bad thing but also does a good thing. And that combined with the sort of cutesy and curiosity tone doesn't, in my view, convey the horror of this situation. Like if I was doing it, like I am now, I would just say, this is horrifying that these 10 people control it.
Alistair Black says, wait, is he Scottish? No. He's not. He's French, actually.
That it's not an international good, but that it's confined within within the US state. I find it quite difficult watch, that.
Oh my god, hi Cookie, what's going on? Welcome in.
Around this time also asked, like,
long time no
how
see.
Would this play to people in America? And
how are people not clocking that he's Scottish? How are people not understanding that he's Scottish? Is it really like that much of a is it really hard to tell? He's not French, he's Scottish. He's from Glasgow. Keep thinking I'm listening to David Tennant, yeah. I think he's from Glasgow anyway, I don't know. French instantly cancelled. Yep, that's right. That's right. Oh, you're kidding? Oh, okay. Americans can't tell. They were ruined by Braveheart. Yeah, they were. I thought he's German. Cancelled. British, cancelled. German, cancelled. French, absolutely cancelled.
Brought up that a huge part of American culture is support for the troops, even in left-wing spaces. And I mean,
he's too soft an accent for Glasgow. There's plenty of people from Glasgow who have, like, you know, a softer accent than most.
Not ubiquitous, but still. And I find it hard to believe that within the cultural context of...
I know, at least in Rage Club, in my stream team, there's at least like 10 people from Glasgow. And they all sound like John the Duncan. Like, they don't have to be, like, talking like, hey, what you fucking what? Like, I'll fucking say, oh, you fucking cunt. You know what I mean? They don't have to sound like that to be from Glasgow.
America, that this doesn't play is just like a cutesy curiosity. But even if not, you know, the US having control of it that isn't in the military is still, to be clear,
I'm from the North Islands. Unless I hear the 2 accents from my village, I don't trust it. Okay, that's pretty fucking funny.
Terrifying. But
that's
this is
pretty
a very
fucking
good
funny.
example here of how the swell guy effect works to obscure the brutal realities of the US.
Hey, Luce, what's going on?
Look at these 10 people.
Yeah, that's what all the Glaswegians sound like. Yeah.
When they seem like, you know, such swell folk, such nice folk.
I'm literally, like, extremely proud to have, like, so many Scottish people in my chat. Like, seriously. The only thing that would make it better if there was more Irish here. Honestly. I swear to God. Yeah, like a middle class Glaswegian accent. Right, yeah, exactly. I'm from Birmingham and I'm not yam yam. What's fucking yam yam? What is that? Someone said that the other week. I don't even know what the fuck. If you hate Braveheart, try getting all the way through The Patriot. Wait, is that like the, it's like a American war propaganda or some shit? This lad has the classic Glasgow uni accent. Okay, alright. Oh, it's the American Revolution one? Right, okay. What does it do? Like a lot of apologies for... I don't know. I imagine some Oh, thick Birmingham black country accent. Right, okay. Yeah. We're gonna go down to the church to have a cuddle. You don't sound like that. Gonna go out for a little cuddle.
But it's not the only example of imperialism and the blood-soaked nature of the USA being somewhat obscured in this show. Later in the same episode, after musing over why so many technological advancements have been made through warfare, Adam's walking through a park and laments that
Drones also make people nervous because while they've gotten us some beautiful wedding shots, that's not the only kind of shot they take.
So I literally don't have time here to unpack the levels of ideology at play in this segment, which is explaining the...
That is like one of the most unhinged starts to something that talks about, you know, a weapon that has killed millions of people. Like, what the fuck?
Usefulness of military drones for keeping American soldiers out of combat.
I'd obviously prefer this robo-plane to get shot at than my neighbor's kid.
But I do have time to unpack this comment.
But what are the unintended consequences of an invention like this?
After this, Adam...
Come on, mate. Are you taking the piss? Get to fuck. Get to fuck. Right, literally. Yeah, Google Obama wedding drone. Right, exactly. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah, like, this is literally in the Human Rights Watch report. It's a Human Rights Watch report, and it's about a drone attack on a marriage procession in Yemen under Obama. Like, Americans just don't care. Like, they just don't care. Like, they just do not give a fuck. They're just like, anything that happens outside of our country, who cares? Who fucking cares? Brits are the same, don't get me wrong. You know, Europeans are like that as well, but fucking hell. I'd say the use of the invention was very intentional. Does he even know? Does he even know that drones were made, like, to kill people before they were made to, like, shoot wedding footage and shit like that? Do they not understand? Drone strikes in Yemen led to a resurgence of Islamic militants. Yeah, absolutely. Hey kids, you know Obama helped take drone photographs of a wedding? Google Obama drone shoots wedding for more info. We've droned Doctors Without Borders, for fuck's sake. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's so bad. Yeah, he's full of shit. Designed to shoot weddings first, shoot weddings second. That's right. Vordrella! Thank you so much for the £10.25. Thank you so much for subbing off Twitch. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Listen, chat, if we get to... Listen, you've got... Now, the halfway through the month happens on Friday, and I'm not going to be streaming on Friday, so you've got till Thursday to hit £400 in the dono goal for this month, which is the halfway point. If we hit that before the halfway point of the month, we'll be having a double feature movie night. A double feature movie night, which will be happening not this Saturday, but the Saturday after, where we watch Chasseurs du Scans, which is a film about skinhead anti-fascists in... Oh, I don't think they are skinhead anti-fascists. I think they're just anti-fascists fighting skinhead fascists in France in like the 70s and the 80s. And we'll also be watching Labyrinth. It was Labyrinth. We said Labyrinth, didn't we? Didn't we? Did we do that? Did we say that? Anyway, you've got until fucking Thursday to unlock the double feature movie night. Just so you know. Oddly, he doesn't mention that after mentioning how GPS was made for the military first. Right, exactly. They used the drone in Baltimore to fight crime. Right, exactly. The USA is still droning Syria. I imagine they're droning Somalia as well. And I imagine Saudi Arabia is using drones in Yemen, which is USA technology. You know? Did anybody even get chewed out over that Yemeni wedding drone strike? Well, you know, chewing out is one thing. I think The Hague is another thing.
Explains how drone use has rocketed in recent years, how the Obama administration used them to assassinate and surveil people from across the globe in countries that the US isn't really at war at, and conspicuously explains this in a
robots coming for the class traitor jobs too. Yeah.
Venue. Of course, Obama is famous for murdering many innocent people in weddings via drone strike. And this could be an excellent opportunity to get there and examine.
Oh my god, Gumba Master, thank you so much for the £10.25. We're at £331.19 chat. That means that we need another £69. £69. The nice sex amount in order to get 400. Just £69. Just 69. Just 69 little English pounds quids. British pounds quids, by the way. Think about that. Think about that.
Sort of murderous, blood-soaked imperial.
I'm just waiting for the B1 droids from Star Wars. Well, this is the thing, you know, like thinking about like the.
Would you like to fuck me?
Thank you, Luce, for the 69 bits. Very nice. We could all use £69. Hey, Emmy, what's going on? Welcome in. Well, this is the thing, you know, they're gonna start to make like robots that are designed for. They've already started to make robots that are designed for war, innit? Like the Boston Dynamics shit and all that kind of stuff. So you know, we could see that happen. Gumba Master, thank you again for the sex amount of bits. The cost of living allowance comes in this Friday. Which day are you doing the stream? Which stream? What do you mean? Which stream? What was I gonna say? Yeah, I'm not streaming on Friday. Yeah. If you want to get the double bill, it has to come in before the 15th.
In the meantime, thanks, Ants. Thanks.
Cynthia, thanks for the 13. And Cynthia, thanks for the 12.
In the meantime, thanks, Ants. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. My favorite drone strike was the one that took out a tribal gathering of pro-US leaders planning an offensive against extremists in Pakistan. Wait, what? Well, it took out a tribal gathering of pro-US leaders. Oh, okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, they're very clever, aren't they? They're very, very clever about who they target with the drones, and they're very smart, you know? I feel like with the US military, they're just like, if they're brown, shoot them down. I feel like that's the only training that they get. Do you know what I mean? Boston Dynamics sounds like it should be the bad guy in a Paul Verhoeven movie. That's why Paul Verhoeven made movies like that, because he knew that the future would happen. You know?
Role that the US state fills within global capitalism. Instead, Adam puts down the use of drones to enact global violence.
By the way, don't worry about it if you can't donate.
A dandelion might be the last one this season.
OMM, dandelions for days.
Johnny, thank you for the 250 bits. Appreciate you. Don't worry if you can't donate before the 15th, because I will still need donations after the 15th. And don't forget, the final goal of the month is the Gandalf cosplay stream, where I play Battle for Middle-earth 2. So don't forget that as well, you know? Do we think we'll see that cops use drones to kill criminals in the future? It's already happened, I think. Didn't Trump use a drone strike on that one military guy? Soleimani? Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah, that rings a bell.
To the...
But what are the unintended consequences of an invention like this?
The unintended consequences of Reaper and Predator drone. The unintended consequences. None of this is unintended, obviously.
No, I mean domestically as well, Sorka. I'm absolutely certain that cops have used drones to kill people domestically in the US. I'm certain of it.
Warfare like this is absolutely intended, and it's consistent with the economic, political and ideological goals of the US state. Putting drone strikes down to some dehumanized technological influence, which is bizarrely separated from the state.
Okay, no, I'm wrong about that. I don't think that's happened.
The economy and ideology which creates and sustains them is simply, in my view, outrageously defensive of the blood-soaked nature of the US state. It's maddening to me that we spend so much time in the show humanizing the state and the sort of swell guys who operate within it, but as soon as technology comes and the horror that
Adam, what the fuck are you doing? He's getting a nice big fat paycheck, Lyra. That's what's happening. He's got the house money from the Obama show that he did. He'll never have to work again.
At least we suddenly create this distance of unintended consequences.
All right, Cryptid.
What kind of a future world is this technology creating?
The problem is laid at the door of the technology and not necessarily the state and economic system which produces it. And I did put this to Adam.
What we are trying to do is give a really bulletproof account of, no pun intended, excuse me, of what that technology did, right? The invention of the technology did. And the very sort of like mainstream critique of drone strikes. And by the way, the reason it needed to be bulletproof is because I'm making the fucking show with Barack Obama, right? And if I go out on a limb, I'm gonna have to have a lot of like, I'm gonna be on the defense. I'm gonna have to have a lot of conversations I don't want to have.
So just don't make the show, dude. If this is fucking with your like moral center, just don't make the show. Do you know?
Right. But if I am really focusing on, hey, this is what like people who study the invention of this technology.
He's got a list he's looking at to save his ass. It looks like it, right? It looks like he keeps looking at something here. Yeah.
Have, you know, determined about the effects of it, then I'm on really firm ground, right? Because I'm like, well, look, there's fucking studies that say this. I'm saying them on television. You don't have much to argue with. So the point that we tried to make is that the invention of the technology created a moral hazard.
I thought this guy was already rich, right? I thought this guy was already rich. That's what I thought. I thought that he is actually like, he made a lot of money from YouTube, like Queen Laura said. Was it Queen? I can't remember who said it in the chat. He started on YouTube. I think it was Rosenkreutz actually. He started on YouTube and now he's like, you know, whatever. Yeah, well, that's the issue, isn't it? Like, you can always get richer. Like, when you get like a certain amount of money, this is why money just has to go. Like, it can't be like, oh, you know, we can have socialist policies, but we need to keep the concept of value. We have to abolish value entirely. We have to get rid of it all, you know? Just get rid of money. Moral hazard, let's go. He's lived up to the max, that's true. That's true, lived up to the max.
Hazard, right? Such that you can now order strikes that formerly you would have to have a pilot in a plane order the strike, and you wouldn't want to send a plane over Syria or whatever, because then the plane could get shot down. You might have to go like do a fucking Black Hawk Down and rescue a pilot, right? And all this, and it's bad press and etc. So the people who lead our military wouldn't want to do that. When you invent a technology that allows you to do it unmanned, it creates a moral hazard where it suddenly becomes much more tempting to order a lot more strikes. All these strikes you wanted to order before, you suddenly can. At very little cost to yourself, because the drone gets shut down. Who cares?
Moral hazard. What do you mean a moral hazard? Like, this is such dog shit. Like the shit that he's saying, it's so bad.
A couple $10 million, you know, but it doesn't cause all these other problems. I mean, again, this is like, you know, for us, that is the piece that is the point that we are able.
Yeah, who is subject to the moral hazard? Like, you know, Obama literally sat there going like, oh, you know, I don't know if I can do this, guys. I don't know if I can do this, guys. Oh, this is such a moral hazard. Push the button. Fuck it. It's done. Don't have to think about it. You know, I'm sure he spent many sleepless nights in his large bed made of money. In his large golden bed made of money.
Make that is basically incontrovertible and is rock solid. Now, what I feel that you probably
the best parts of these interviews are John's eyebrows. Yeah, literally, that's what I was thinking. He's just like furrowing his brow, like, huh? Are you saying that? And like he's trying to keep a straight face the whole time. It's so funny.
Like me to do is to say U.S. foreign policy.
Well, that's exactly what we were saying, Stalker. Yeah, it's like there were people who got bombed. Like, talk about a moral hazard. Like, what about the fact that these fuckers got maimed and died? God damn it, this is so fucked.
The policy of imperialism maintained through military hegemony and the wanton death of, you know, many, many people overseas and their killings. And I would agree with all of that, right? I agree with that. I believe it.
He's doing the white guy blink meme. He literally just did the white guy blinking meme. He just did this. Watch. He just hold up.
And their killings. And I would agree with all of that, right? I agree with that. I believe
he did the thing.
But that to me, like making a point about American foreign policy, American imperialism, is more than I am able to do.
Yeah, John, please just blink to let us know that you need us to save you. Like, oh my God. Adam says military hegemony like he's reading it off a teleprompter. He says everything like he's reading it off a teleprompter.
Do in a half-hour episode of a show about the government, right?
John is winning a debate with his eyes.
A bit unconvincing. I think it is illustrative of the propaganda nature of the show that he felt that he couldn't talk about wider thing like imperialism, whether that's because, you know, he didn't think it would be entertaining, Netflix wouldn't pick it up, or he'd be on less firm ground with Obama. That is already confining the argument within a very tight box. But also in saying that the technology creates a moral dilemma that you can now enact drone strikes seems to put a directionality in the wrong way, where the technology is the determining factor of the violence and not the nature of the state.
That's how he's painting it.
Hugely ideological. And I know Adam says that he agrees that the US is a hegemonic, blood-soaked imperialist state, so I don't think he's trying to make that other point, but just within the confines of the show, the effect is that imperialism is obscured and the propaganda effect of the show is maintained.
You just need to like not do the show. If you have those values and if you know that these things are bad, then you just need to not do the show. Like, that would be the correct thing to do. You can just not do it. You know what I mean? Like, how fucking dope would it be if Adam Conover was like, yeah, I'm gonna start like a far left, like a radical show about like activism and what you can do to like, you know, imagine if Adam used his platform to do like a Red Planet. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that. Like, that would be so fucking good and so fucking based, and he could do that. You know? The fact he thinks he pushes the needle leftward somehow is remarkable. Yeah, it is remarkable, yeah. By not doing the show, how will he make his millions? Yeah, true. Yeah, good point.
And I guess in the end, all of this leads us back to Obama.
Yeah, he's trying to change it from the inside,
I'm sure Obama didn't tell Adam what to write here.
Mainstream media isn't in the business of forwarding leftist causes. Yeah, but he could just do it on YouTube. Like, he has a YouTube channel. Like, that's where he started. You go work with Belly of the Beast. You know, work with anybody. Do anything other than this, right? It's the neoliberal mind prison. You know, Thought Slime speaks about it with reference to the band streamer who's the debate dickhead. And, you know, it's like, oh, well, you know, I know these things are wrong, but like, you know, I can't like get out of this, you know, fixation with trying to, I've got to push the needle leftward a little bit. Don't want to be too far left. Don't want to be like too far right. You know, but I gotta get everybody to meet in the middle. Like, it's the prison. It's like that you can't just do other stuff, you know?
Except he
was he on Joe Rogan?
Joke that they wouldn't let him use. But if there's one thing that reflects well on Obama's legacy, it's excusing the use of drones as an unintended consequence of a moral hazard created by technology.
Right.
You know, how could he resist this moral hazard, rather than, you know, that he is a willing and very vocal
Prince, yeah,
proponent of US imperialism, an agent of it. And it's with Obama that we reach.
Hey, Otterboat man.
So
how you
naturally,
doing?
when you're trying to find solutions for the state of the state.
He was on Joe Rogan talking about trans people? No. No.
The Joe Rogan
No, you are shitting me.
experience.
Find out what races that lady's gonna run.
Okay. Content warning for transphobia. All right, we're switching it up real quick. No fucking way. Oh, he has a trans kid, so he's trying to like tell Joe Rogan that it's fine or some shit. Okay, we're gonna watch this on double speed, chat, because I don't want to fucking get stun locked too quick. Maybe 1.75.
Don't run those races.
Yeah, run a different race. That's always been
How do you
my
feel
place.
about trans athletes?
You know, it's a good question. I think we're really going to go through like a cultural change on how we think about that. You know, it's morphing so quickly. You know what I mean? I'm very much, because I am of this opinion that there is no such thing as like perfect fairness, and when we make those distinctions, we're always choosing who to allow. And because I think we should choose to allow like trans people to participate in society, I'm for an inclusive approach where we're able to like find like a model that allows those folks to compete fairly in a way that everybody's happy with. I think that's what we should do. You know, and that to me is like that's what makes me like sports more. You know, is those comparisons. Like, another thing that pissed me off so much was like, what's his name? The disabled runner who then killed his girlfriend.
Oh yeah, the
Oscar Pistorius, right? And people were saying about this guy that his prosthetic gave him an advantage. Now, first of all, there's no fucking way that's true, because he doesn't have muscles. Muscles
but I
convert
actually
food
think
into.
it does give you an advantage. I mean, I think mechanically it does, because they're springs. They essentially the way his.
Okay, just like straight into ableism as well. Like, I can't fucking watch this shit. Like, fucking whatever. We don't need to watch this. All right, so we know that Adam's like general point of view is like okay. But then, of course, Joe Rogan is just like, no, it's mechanical. It's mechanical. Like, that's how it works. Like, you make a bionic man. You make a bionic man, like the $1 Million Man. That's clearly what happens. Like, it's mechanical. Just smoke DMT, bro. The angels will tell you. Fucking nonsense. Towing the liberal line on trans rights. Yeah. Joe Rogan dual-wielding bigotry. Yeah, like, transphobia, like the trans question and the disabled question. Like, Adam got rolled by Rogan. It was so sad. Yeah, well, Adam deserves to get rolled for doing shit like this, for sure. I agree.
The person that you'll obviously turn to is, I guess, the former president of that state, who is, of course, a swell fucking guy. Makes some peanut butter.
Towing the liberal line on trans rights when you've got a trans kid is fucking abysmal. Absolutely.
With him.
Absolutely.
About how you make PB&J.
Oh yeah, do you still make your own sandwiches a lot?
No.
What? What is that?
I don't much like watching war criminals pad about in their mansions making cute peanut butter and jam. Not a big fan of it, to be honest.
And also, like, what is that? Do you make your own your own sandwiches? And he's like, no. Because didn't Obama say, I make my own sandwiches to be like inclusive of women and be like, yeah, misogyny is bad or whatever and shit like that. And now he's like, no, I don't make my own sandwiches anymore. Like, I either like pay a chef with my millions of pounds, from whatever fucking, who fucking knows how much presidents of the USA make, right? Like I have that, or I make my wife do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't fucking, you know what I mean?
Not a big fan. But Obama here is very...
No, that's not what I said, Otterboat man. Didn't Obama say he makes his own sandwiches during his presidency and during his like presidential campaign in order to be like, being misogynist is bad? Like, is that what he did?
Quick to illustrate the exact...
I feel like that's what he did. And now he's like gone back on that to be like, oh, well, actually, no, I don't anymore. Oh, you meant it in a joking manner? Okay, well, yeah. Just try, you know, tone indicators in it in future. Just like a /S is going to let me know if you're being sarcastic, or a /J is going to let me know if you're doing a joke. Or you could, like, do the emote, like the lol emote, you know what I mean? Like this or some shit. Or, like, Kappa, that means you're being sarcastic and whatnot. Right, yeah. During his first campaign, innit? Like, that was the whole thing. Yeah. That's all right, Otter. No worries.
The swell guy figure perpetuates.
We have to remind ourselves that it's a human institution, like every other one, which means there are going to be screw-ups.
Which here serves to remind us that any solution has to center some sort of flawed humanism as the cause of the problem.
Mr. Obama, I've seen the drone facilities. Now tell me, do you make your own sandwiches? Like, what the fuck?
And not, that the state is an expression of solidified ruling class, settler, colonial, white supremacist interests. Our solutions can't draw on that because the state is a human institution. We can't draw on this analysis because that analysis isn't given. Instead, it's centered wholly on the human element. And this is, I think, something that was missed in the interview, which I maybe should have expressed clearer, is that the analysis of the state is important because it's where we draw our action from. The problems here is that people mess up, that there's some bad apples in there.
There are going to be people who are doing things for the wrong reason.
Adam should interview Tony Blair next. Yeah, G-word, but the British. G-word, but the British version. Yeah. Oh my God.
And in fact, this entire interview with Obama seems to serve.
Yeah, a screw up in Obamaland means drone striking a kindergarten. It's just apologia for imperialism and war crimes.
To undermine collective action in favor of some sort of funneling into a narrow electoral frame.
Yeah, the bad apple argument, yeah.
Opposition to what Obama's saying.
People have been demanding change on for a really long time. Criminal justice, police violence, it's hard to take.
The response.
Look at his fucking face when he's talking about this. He does not give a shit. Like, look how, high and mighty he's looking.
Really long time. Criminal justice, police violence, it's hard to take.
Yeah, I know.
Response from Obama is firstly this.
The only thing we can't do is lapse into cynicism.
Which frankly annoyed me, given that this is perhaps the most cynical part of the show, which is illustrated by what he says next.
And say, well, because this hasn't changed at the pace that it should, there's nothing we can do about it.
Now I wonder why the great disappointment Barack Obama.
Hey Gree, what's going on?
Some concern about pushing back against cynicism for electoral change, or the mass disillusion which is drawn from mass disappointment from that lack of change.
Black Lives Matter started under Obama, yeah.
Interest there. And Obama then goes on to relay the importance of voting and participating even harder in the system. And when Adam again offers some challenge to this.
We didn't see change, despite that being, in my lifetime, the biggest mass movement for change that we've seen in the country.
Right. Obama says this.
Except it turns out Mitch McConnell was elected precisely because the country is a big, diverse, complicated place.
It's complicated. The fact that Mitch McConnell got elected because his district is completely gerrymandered, and there's been, extensive corruption. Oh God, fucking damn it. Like, you are taking the piss.
Really, if the country is just so big and diverse, and the state is, as the show would have you believe, just a reflection of the people, of the collected mass of the people, then how can you really expect change?
Like, this is a really good insight into like how liberals basically just be like, well, I wish there was something we could do about the Nazi problem, but actually we can't. Like, it's a great insight into like how they think, because we're seeing that now under Joe Biden's America, where he really could just sign a bunch of his executive orders that would protect LGBTQ plus individuals, which would protect, the climate, and which would also protect women, or, and people that can have birth, people that can give birth under an abortion act, like, you know, codify fucking Roe v. Wade into law. Well, he couldn't codify Roe v. Wade into law now because it's been overturned, but he could do something that could seriously make the lives of people who can get pregnant a lot better with just a couple of executive orders. Literally. That's just literally it.
To come. But there's something else going on here as well.
Oh, wait, what? What's this? I heard about this guy. Wait, what? We talking about Obama? Well, you know. I heard about this guy. Yeah, I love his takes on neoliberalism. Oh, you mean John the Duncan? Yeah. Not Adam. Yeah, Adam is. Adam's take on political science, academia, viewing neoliberalism in the West is extremely spot on. No. You're talking about John. Like, that's John who does that. Yeah.
Framing here seems
Adam is not doing that.
To apply that Obama really wanted to do all of the things. He wanted to do the good stuff and was just held back from doing it by bad people in government. The reality is, however, that Obama is just a different expression of the same underlying neoliberal, not even liberal, fucking neoliberal ideology as Mitch McConnell. He wasn't stopped from enacting drone strikes or pushing through chartered schooling, pushing tax cuts and austerity and deregulation. He enthusiastically and vocally supported all of that. He had a fucking supermajority in his first 2 years. He could have done anything, but he didn't. And in his 2013 State of the Union address, his ideology is on show. He goes,
and this is like how you know that the argument that Democrats want you to vote, because then when they have the midterm elections or whatever it is, when they elect like more people into the Senate and the House and stuff like that, or like the House is the Senate, I fucking forget which, but they basically want you to vote so that they have more of a majority. Like, no, Obama had a supermajority for 2 terms and did nothing. Oh, 70 days was a supermajority, but a majority the first 2 years. It doesn't mean anything because they do not want to do anything. Germany's current Minister of Finance is going hard in the austerity direction. Yeah. I said it on Sophie's Discord. It's kayfabe. Yeah, it's kayfabe. Literally, it's just like, it's like wrestling. It's just all, it's all for show.
Goes on and talks about the unparalleled power of the free market to produce wealth and freedom, and characterizes the role of government as the unfinished task of encouraging free enterprise and rewarding individual initiative. He is a neoliberal ghoul, an expression of the same class interest. And then there's this bit where he justifies the state existing to maintain the status quo and says,
make me, king for a day, and I can just, issue my edicts.
Like your drone strikes, mate, eh?
A situation where an all-powerful, all-knowing individual or small set of individuals are able to make decisions for everybody.
This bit is so cynical. It's so deeply cynical. Here we are in President Obama's massive fucking house, lamenting that we don't want power to be held by a small set of individuals. Right? President Obama in your massive house? Like, I don't think I need to explain why that's jarring.
They thrive in that kind of environment.
And of course, this section comes to a close with the former president, Barack Obama, telling people to vote in local elections. This is a prelude to
The Dems suck so much. Holy fucking shit. God damn it. Oh my god. Nirvana Boy 2. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Cherry Squirry says, story time. In March 2020, I was going to see Michelle Obama speak with my partner. The tickets weren't cheap, and obviously the event was cancelled, but it took them 2 years to refund the money from this and hundreds of other shows. They made the money off other people's money, and they weren't the only ones that increased their wealth over the duration of the early pandemic. That's literally it. Thank you for the follow. Just vote, lol. And if you got it bad, vote harder, lol. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's so fucking silly.
remainder of the episode, which essentially makes the argument that it's our responsibility to get more involved with local government. And it's here that I think the show moves from being frustrating to being quite harmful for left-wing movements. Rather than advocating for a generation of radical modes of social and community organisation which resist the state oppression and build collective power and alternatives to state action in local communities or in different contexts, the show, or even in the workplace, the show essentially argues for funneling that discontent into the constraining realm of electoral politics. And
it kind of does do that. It kind of does do that. Listen, chat. I started the stream a little bit early today. I apologize. I've got to fucking go. I'm tired as fuck. It's warm. But we're going to continue this tomorrow. I'm going to leave this in a pinned tab. We're at 33:22. That's a nice, easy number to remember, chat. So if I forget tomorrow, then you can just remind me. I don't fucking know. Thank you so much for being here, everybody, tonight. It's been real fun. It's been real nice. I am going to take you all on a raid now. We are going to go and raid a lovely individual called Sir Caitlin. And she is very good and very funny. She does a lot of video game stuff. I think that's right. I think I've spelled it right. Yes, I've spelled it right. So come with me to the raid. Yes, that's exactly. Yes, that's it. That's brilliant. Okay, right. Okay. Come with me for the raid. It'll be very cool. It'll be very nice if you could say hi to Caitlin for me, with me, because it's just a nice thing to do. And also it's nice to do that for me. But thank you so much, everybody, tonight. Thank you for all the donos. Thank you for all the follows. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for hanging out, even though it's extremely hot outside and it might be like really sunny where you are, and you could have like gone outside and had a nice time, but you chose to stay in with me like a nerd and watch leftist content creators. I really appreciate that. So yeah, thank you for all that, and thank you for lurking if you've been lurking as well. Fuck yeah, let's fucking go. Half the time, raids don't just happen for you. Well, have a shout out for Sir Caitlin in the chat, and you can copy and paste that into your browser if it doesn't work, and you can join us that way. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Stay excellent to each other. In the meantime, check out my socials. I'm going to be uploading some VODs tonight, so you can check out some VODs from a while ago. And also, I got a couple new videos coming out this week. So I'll see you tomorrow, or in those videos, or whatever. You know the score. You know what I'm on about. Right. Take it easy, chat. Mwah. Stay excellent to each other. Peace, 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 peace. Good night.